Greetings and welcome to So You Think You Can Quest, the online live streamed Dungeons and Dragons based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones. I'm your host and Dungeon Master, and this is just a quick introduction to episode 9 of our open beta development process. I'll keep this one short, as our episodes are getting more and more comprehensive every time they air, and these little introductions are becoming more and more superfluous. I just want everyone to know that I'm taking the time to add a little extra something so that each one of these episodes isn't just some sort of cookie-cutter update. Thank you very much, and I am enjoying watching everything continue to grow. So thank you to our fans, contestants, followers, and subscribers, and I hope you enjoy this episode of So You Think You Can Quest. And hello. Sorry about the late start there. We had a small technical difficulty at the end with Twitch, but we are live. You'll notice that it's just my face to start with this evening. Everyone is ready and waiting in the Discord lobby, and everything is set up and ready to go. I just wanted to start off this evening real quick by saying thank you to everyone. We are headed into our second 30-day cycle of production here at So You Think You Can Quest. We are growing by the day in subscribers, followers, likers, tweeters, all of the metrics by which we judge online growth, and I wanted to say thank you to all of you. In addition to that, we've got some patron drawings to do at the beginning of the show, and I just wanted to do a quick extra thank you to all of the, I believe, 16 patrons that we've acquired in the first 30 days of launch. Thank you so much, everybody. Your small to substantial monetary contributions help both inspire and also drive forward the production values of this show. I'm going to take also a quick moment before we get into the game to talk about what is coming on this channel, and that is that in the next 30 days we will be focusing on expanding and sort of mastering the brand content so that anybody who might be a fan of the show and wants to start advertising it or putting up banners of their own onto websites or social media accounts will be able to do that. As well, we're going to start putting together those kits so that we can start looking for sponsors for this show and other people who just might be interested in getting involved. We're showcasing different music and art every night, and so if you know somebody who's trying to get the word out about their fantasy art or their background music or whatever it is that they do that you think might make a good fit for the show, we're going to be starting to explore those options so that we can get people appropriate promotional materials. Part of that is we've also, and I do say we because I'm now heavily relying on a friend of mine who has agreed to help me sort through all of the things in front of us in this stream as it gets up and going. We are also going to be pivoting into a little bit of a name change here. Not anything really taken away from it, instead just added to make sure that everybody understands that we are in no way trying to infringe upon existing copyrighted material. And so from now on, everyone will be enjoying the Guild of Mazes presenting So You Think You Can Quest. And for the fans of the show, you don't necessarily have to change the vernacular you use to talk about it because this is still the show that you enjoy, So You Think You Can Quest. It's just important that everybody understands that the Guild of Mazes is the production company creating this, and So You Think You Can Quest is but a small facet of our overall brand. It's almost the name of a song or a particular riff that we do, if you will. And as things continue to grow, so too will the Guild of Mazes, and all of the things that the players and fans and contestants of So You Think You Can Quest have come to enjoy about the show will be opened up to the community at large in the form of expansive games. There will be more puzzles for everyone to solve, more ways for community members to get involved with actually contributing to the adventure itself. And as this continues to expand, we'll also probably now start to reach out to members of the community and see who is free and available to start helping us get everything organized, and rewarding participation with the form of extra chances to play or compete in the game or get recognized or win precious stones, kind of whatever it is that you particularly want. We'll start doing contests amongst all of the fans for people to highlight their favorite moments of So You Think You Can Quest and perhaps receive prizes for that, as well as also just generally being an upstanding and involved member as we try to expand this into a brand that is going to be quite comprehensive and also a whole lot of fun. Now, enough from me for the moment about this. I just wanted to say thank you. I'm going to let the intro play, and on the other side, we are going to give away the patron prizes and meet our contestants for the evening. Thank you very much. And without further ado, So You Think You Can Quest?
Zombies and kaboos, and oh no, no troll, don't slow me down, oh no. Don't be ambitious, ambitious, all too many possibilities. When I swing, I'm a clap on being thing, go again, every time my friend, the outcome's always the same. I'll roll down 20 sides and cleave your ass in twain, because I'm rolling 20s like a 68 Impala. Doesn't matter, critical damage from my warhammer. I told the big two against every single farm that crossed by the walls of my mighty blow. I lay 'em low, yes I lay 'em low.
And welcome to So You Think You Can Quest. I'm looking at an empty... That's strange. Why isn't my Discord showing up in my... Oh, there it is. All right, it was just a slight lag there. Okay, got it. Now everyone can see the players. I'm looking at everybody else, and thank you all for joining us. We're going to do a quick giveaway to the patrons out there. We're going to start, of course, with Tier 1, because there's more of them than anybody else, and then move up the ranks to the Tier 5 Stone giveaway. There are currently only 2 Guild Living Legends, and I'm excited to see who that stone goes to. First up, though, we are going to be doing the drawing for this fairy stone. So called because what you are looking at is a natural concretion. That's right, this stone has not been cut or worked by human hands other than the drill hole you see boring it. Other than that, it has just been weathering, erosion, and a very particular set of conditions that leads to the creation of stones like this. This particular one comes from Quebec, Canada, and it is, in its own way, far uniquer than many other precious stones out there. We are going to now roll to see who among the patrons is going to be getting this prize. And let's see here. It looks like Lucifer. That fairy stone is going to you. Congratulations on scooping that up. It will go into the mail as soon as you can provide me with a proper shipping address. And we're going to move on now to the lapis stone. This stone is lapis lazuli that has sort of a very fine quartz inclusions that causes it to have an almost radiant or rippling quality to it. This stone is available to only Tier 3 and or above patrons to be in the raffle for, and I'm going to see who it is that's going to be walking away with this blue beauty today. It's going to be none other than Maple Witch. Maple Witch, congratulations. If you want to get me a mailing address that I can get this lapis teardrop to you, please do so, and I will immediately get it into the mail. And then finally, we have, last but not least, the astrophyllite, an interesting stone. As you see the back and the front, you can the high contrast between the materials present show that the stone cutter was working on the very edge of this materials transition to create this sort of dual effect. And this gorgeous bead is going to be going to either Lord Muller or Sly Ty, as they are the only two guild living legends at this current moment. I'm going to go ahead and roll now. Oh, that die fell right off the table. It looks like this is going to be going to Muller. Muller, congratulations. You have also managed to get your account upgraded in just the nick of time, as by splitting the benefits of the Guild Living Legend package, he was able to get one of his now account sharers in the game as a proxy while he is still trying to arrive later this evening. So, those 3 stones having been given away, we are now going to be introducing our 2 new players for the evening. It looks like player 4 that is going to be joining us is Kefioso Miser, who will be taking over the role of the wizard Inel Nasera. And I will get your token taken over, appropriately up on the screen in just a second. And then after that, it looks like our other seat is going to, as I mentioned, be one Fia of the Long Roads, being split tonight between Eric and Lord Muller, who will be arriving later to take control of that character. Thank you very much. And I'm going to get these player names adjusted because it looks like the Discord shuffled a couple things around on me, but that's totally fine. While I'm doing that, I will also go ahead and get us up to speed on what exactly happened last time on So You Think You Can Quest. Last time on So You Think You Can Quest, we ended as the players were able to make one of the farther southwestern settlements of Hope's Rise, managing to get out of the dangerous, misty forest that had otherwise bottlenecked the road and made ample hunting grounds for the mist trolls that were terrorizing this region. Wanting to avoid what seemed to be a strange occurrences on the lake waters nearby, the party dived into the woods off of the roads, perhaps foolishly, and in doing so ended up right in the jaws of the very thing that they attempted to avoid. Entering into combat quite rapidly with the mist trolls, we were then overwhelmed, and by we, I mean, I guess the players, rather rapidly as the mist trolls began tearing apart and eviscerating their companions. The rogue fell very quickly, as would have Araman the cleric had not there been the intervention of a last-minute spell by a fleeing paladin that had frozen the troll towering over the dying dwarven cleric, and in doing so allowed him to recover from his dying state through a mix of both his dwarven fortitude and extraordinary luck on the form of a natural 20 concentration check. He was able to rouse himself long enough to, through the haze and the pain, work his healing magics and channel his goddess's might into himself, rising and then fleeing from the now paralyzed still troll. Meanwhile, Warren of the Cracked Sky and Karini Selkadora had decided to dismount from their recently acquired steed and sacrifice it as an afterburner and let it discard into the troll horde that was pursuing them to be consumed by the gluttonous fiends. Of course, then Erithil, first to realize that the tide had turned against them, jumped from the tallest tree, or the perch of the tallest perch of the tree that she had climbed, and then landing rather gracefully on the ground, sprinted into the nearby wood and avoided both really aiding her companions, but also any amount of conflict. Then having made it out of the tree line, ended up perhaps gathering the ire of a nearby patrolling troll of some kind that started storming towards her in the mist, and she began to flee back towards the party. At this point, one Phelan Arister joined us, aka Draconis, who has warped in via the guild teleportation system. Gathering themselves, the now somewhat disheartened and stunned adventuring band for the Guild of Mazes made their way over to the settlement nearby and began to find a place to drown their sorrows in a nearby tavern. The map keeps slipping on me. There we go. At the end of the session, there was some mention of perhaps a wounded miller's son in need of aid that Aramin volunteered to participate in order to demonstrate the truth of his word that he was in fact connected to the divine and could produce the powers of his goddess, that he volunteered might be the necessary trick in turning the tide against these mist trolls who seemed otherwise impervious to most forms of conventional damage and even the telltale weakness of all normal trolls, that of fire, seems to have very little effect on the beast. And without any way to halt their regenerative abilities, they have otherwise, I've said the word otherwise quite a lot, they have locked down and controlled this farm settlement and mining operation through an extended campaign of terror. Now all of the settlers wary of the mists and the eve should they find themselves in one of the farmsteads that is to be preyed upon by these terrible monsters. Now, joining us in the fifth seat, of course, is Fia, meaning that she has been warped in from a only small rest and respite in the form of really a day, rejoining our companions now at the inn they've found at the center of this small mining encampment. I am going to adjust these tokens and name tags, but please feel free, players, as you are still now here in this tavern, gathered around drink and humble food, but gathered nonetheless and safe for the time being. There was some mention of going immediately into your encounter role for a long rest of the evening, but that is up to you, and you may spend the rest of your daylight hours however you wish to.
Ariel is still passed at the bar.
Can I get you to... Is your mic a little far away?
Right here in front of my face.
Oh man, you're quiet tonight.
Oh, weird.
All right, I'm going to turn up the volume a little on that. All right, thank you very much. Anyway, please, continue.
How's this sound?
That's better.
All right. Erithel is still passed out at the bar, just cuddling her drink.
Erithel, it's Via. I'm back. I had some business to attend to, but... Erithel, hello? Hello, Erithel. Erithel!
What? She looks up to Fia.
Erithel, what's going on? This is very unlike you.
You lost somebody.
I heard about Apex.
We ran.
Mm.
I ran. And there was nothing I could do. No, you're here.
Let me get another drink over here, please.
She goes to drink from her mug, which is already empty.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull away Erithel's mug, but take one for myself. You know what I mean?
I got it.
And I see Airman's here also. Hello, Airman. Nice to see you again.
I'm assuming at this time the bartender has fully cut me off for drinks tonight.
Unfortunately, due to the fact that you are covered in armor, weapons, and in the company of other very dangerous individuals, the barkeep and the serving staff seem to be happy to keep supplying you with beverage and taking your coin. Also, you imagine that other than the miners and sort of poor farmers in this area, there probably isn't too much business at these public houses.
Well, if they didn't cut him off, Fia cut him off now.
Noted. Fia cutting off her companion in order to prevent further problems. You will remember that last session you did make a considerable Constitution saving throw in order to overcome the effects of this alcohol. So, despite the intake of the drink, it seems that Erithil's rather hardy lifestyle as an adventurer and robust cardio activities are providing her with the much needed stamina to drink all day, apparently.
Hey, Phelan, I got this new tunic. What do you think about it?
Um, hmm. Phelan will take a look at the tunic. Does it appear to be in good quality, or is it cheaper material?
It's kind of like a burlap sack type of thing.
It. You do you. How you do you. I'm sure it will look very nice when you get it all cut up, because it already looks absolutely disgusting.
Thank you.
Erithil kind of wakes up for a second, just says, "Oh yes, and since nobody really wants it, I did find this, and I guess you can use it. Hopefully you'll take it." She hands you the warhammer that she had found buried underneath the building that one time.
Looks good to smash with. I'm gonna take it outside and just like start smashing like the dirt, just to practice. I'm just gonna fade out for a little bit, smash some dirt.
Smashing dirt. Heard.
Before Theo leaves, Erithil just says, "It's possibly magical, so you might want to spend time with it."
Thank you.
Well,
Can I do,
our,
like-
oh, go ahead. I apologize.
No, I just want to like. Can I tell if it's magical at all? Can I do like some type of check to see if it's magical, or if I can tell anything?
By just grabbing a hold of it and swinging it, you get the feel that this warhammer is certainly charged with some amount of potential, yet you aren't quite sure what it might do without really a more reactive target to test it upon, as the ground seems to not really be what's necessary to trigger any effects.
Okay, Phelan, get over here for a second. I need to test out this hammer.
I find that there will probably be better things to test it out on than myself. Thank you.
All right.
And besides, Armin, my stout compatriot, there's a child who is less than 100%. Are you able to take care of this today, or do you need to rest your head and get your magical energies back?
Definitely the latter, but also I have no clue. I don't even know what's wrong with the kid.
Smash.
Well, I mean,
I think broken limb was what I caught from it, and who knows?
Broken limb. I mean, I'm sure we can set that. Whether we can accelerate the healing process is not my forte.
I can accelerate healing process. That's not the problem.
Smash.
Healing's all I'm good for.
Oh, stop. I'm sure there's plenty of other things that you're all very skilled at, like our walking, talking anger management recipient that's outside. I'm sure they're good at picking terrible choices in clothing. Up to you all. I was going to go look around because I want to walk around town a little bit.
Don't go too far.
Oh, please. I'm only gonna go as far as my eyes will allow me to stand looking at all of this terrible linen!
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Phelan, apparently very distressed about the quality of this town's garments, is going to see if she can find anything of interest in the surrounding township with her time before sleep. Anything? Does anyone want to join her?
I was gonna say maybe when you see me out there, maybe you'll drag me along with you, and I'll be like, "All right, let's go see what this town's got to offer." A young barbarian like myself.
Okay, well, I do require that you stay at least like 5 to 10 feet away. I just don't want people to get the wrong idea.
Understood, but I'm not gonna follow that rule.
I mean, okay, well, I was gonna say no offense, but now definitely offense.
Just so you're aware, Far, it looks like Fia doesn't have has a square token.
Oh yeah, that is just somebody uploaded or Muller uploaded that as custom, and I just haven't had a chance to convert it over into.
Understood.
Okay. So, not being able to evoke any sort of reaction from this Warhammer, Fia is going to accompany our rogue Phelan as they attempt to see what they can learn in this township. In the meantime, Aramin, you said that you were staying put along with Erithil?
Yep.
All right, then that leaves Inel, the new wizard who has joined our little band and is actually the first wizard in a moment to join us, as there have been a number of mismatches with monks and barbarians and bards alike. But Inel, what will you be doing during this time after having recovered, obviously, from your teleportation sickness?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna go see my new companions, I guess.
Okay, and now I'm going to turn up your mic a little. Everyone's very quiet tonight. That's strange. Okay, Okay, well, would you repeat that last line for me?
Sure. I said I was gonna go see my new companions.
Okay. You having sort of seen them in the sense that two of them are content to begin perusing the township, and two seemed to be nursing quite a severe amount of alcohol and sudden trauma. That is really what you're witnessing as Aramin the cleric, who is both heavily armed and heavily armored, and Erithil the fighter, who have both chosen to remain in this small inn and drink away their tears, or not tears, but rather immediate betrayals, respectively, one being the betrayer and the other being the betrayee. Inel, you're welcome to interact however you like.
I'm gonna go see the our man at the bar, and just. Hey, are you okay?
He's just chilling over at the table.
Well, all right. I'm gonna go sit down.
Away from everybody.
I'm gonna go across from him and sit there.
Okay. Aramin, you seem to have some rather persistent company. Are you going to acknowledge them or merely let them hang out?
Sure. Evening.
Erithil is trying her best not to look towards Armin.
Would probably get an evil glare if you did.
Or an axe to the back of my head.
No.
I'm gonna tap the table a bit and say, "Hey, are you from the guild?"
Oh yeah. One of the longer living members.
That's quite an accomplishment. Me, I'm Inel Nasera. I'm a member of the guild from I guess, couple of years now, and I'm from the Department of Portal and Passageways. Excuse me, my command is not very good.
That's okay. Fine enough to understand.
You look a bit, well, sad. What happened?
Yeah, well, when, you're the person that keeps everybody alive and your people up and leave you behind, you'd be pretty hurt too.
Erithel,
Yeah.
Erithel, since Fia has left, just taps the table and just says, "Another drink."
This one with you? As a point to Abertil.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, I see. Ah, problem within you two. Ah, that's gonna be a problem to deal with.
We'll see.
You know, if we're to be a team, maybe we should be, you know, like friends or something.
We
Or
were
just
up until
maybe.
I got left behind.
Did you know what? Okay, all right. I didn't get the full story. So, what happened, my friend?
The party picked a fight with a bunch of mist trolls. Fight didn't go the way they wanted it to go. Me, Stubby Legs, being the slowest member of the party, was left while everybody else hightailed it away to die. Well, almost. By
Oh,
the grace of my God, I got out of there.
oh well, that's quite a story. I never really was betrayed, but I guess I've, if someday I'm betrayed, I'm sure I will feel exactly like you. Like I'm worthless and they don't deserve me.
Yes, I'd assume so.
So, why don't you go talk to the one who abandoned you? You don't want to fix things up?
Not currently.
Was that true recent?
Say that again.
Was that a recent event?
Oh yeah,
Did
less than a few hours ago.
Oh well, I guess I shouldn't do. I shouldn't talk much about it.
All right then.
And I'm just gonna sit there and not talk for like 5 minutes.
Okay. As this is going on, I'm going to go ahead and move the Phelan and Fia tokens outside of the inn. I'm also going to just start expanding our camera view for a second as we can pull out here and get a better view of the scene. Put the roof back on this inn for a moment. So the map that you players are looking at now, who are in the game and likely sort of panning around, is just a section of this town. It's not the whole thing. Just in case you're wondering, so the houses that you're looking at are not 100% everything that's available. And of course, if you look at the north end of the map, the road keeps going as it then sort of reaches the mining section of the town that you can hear. I mean, even now in the background, there are the distant clinking of hammer and chisel upon stone, as well as the rattle of metal wheel upon track, moving in and out of the like massive network of tunnels that has been created in the ground here. And that leads me to the question, Fia, Phelan, what exactly are you trying to find out as you begin wandering around this particular settlement that for the moment you don't even have a real name for other than, this area here at the end of the road?
Well, Phelan, not sure that they can trust the ramblings of people who are at a bar. Is looking for sober people who might be able to give them information regarding the Mish trolls, as well as looking for maybe just like a general store or some kind of shop that they can work some charm.
Sure.
I,
Yeah, Fia?
Fio's just following along, but the first person I see, since we don't really know what this place is called, right? You said,
No.
I say, hey, where am I? Where are we right now?
So that gets a kind of a strange response as they look very concerned and then look over at you, Phelan, and sort of motion with their hands as if to make sure that your companion is fully okay and aware of themselves.
They mean the name of the town. We're recent teleportees, so we don't know the name of the town.
I'm very sick.
Yes.
Not that sick, just like normal sick.
Phelan will point so that Fia doesn't like see and like points to Phelan's head and goes, "Woo!" Like, yeah, very sick.
So
And then
with that, the sort of villager who's at this point just 10, 15 feet away goes, You're in Fog Iron Landing.
That's right, Fog. Thank you, sir. Now
that's
we'll be on our
very
way.
useful.
I follow Phelan. I'm just kind of like still kind of like looking at this new hammer and kind of like swinging it a little bit like this.
Okay. So, Phelan, go ahead and give me an investigation check. Finding a general store is not difficult. This town is small enough that there really seem to be only 2 stores. There's a small one on the outskirts of town selling basic supplies with not really anything of interest in it. And then the other one seems to be more of situated towards the center of the mining operation, where there are any number of kind of very uniform and almost a factory made supplies, tunics, rope, rations, that sort of thing, all of them ready packaged alongside pints of lantern oil, as well as fresh bandages and wraps and everything that one might need when working a day's hard labor in the mines just north of town. However, with the 5 investigation, when it comes to trying to dig up information regarding the mist trolls and everything else that might be occurring here in this particularly sleepy, forgotten little settlement at the bottom of Hope's Rise, it seems that everyone's general response to the mist trolls is one of, they are bad! Run away! Sort of, and not very informative. Those who might know more are unwilling to divulge information, their eyes telling a story of horror that their lips are unwilling to repeat. And from there, after a couple hours of talking to the township and getting an idea of the general tone of what's going on, you do, however, manage to attract a little bit of attention in the form of a couple people who look likely as if they are involved in the mining operations, but not covered in the everyday dirt and grime and bruises and cuts and scrapes of somebody who spends days foraging in the tunnels for veins of ore and mineral, but instead likely those who are coordinating, planning, and designing these very things. Their clothes are slightly nicer, but still made of rough fabrics, as if likely made by someone skilled, but also with little to work with in terms of materials. Now, they approach out of a crowd in a number of 10, which is at first intimidating as all of these individuals bear pickaxes, shovels, and the muscles of somebody who spends all day fighting with the very stone itself. They look upon you, and finally a woman amongst them steps forward and says, "There's rumors in town, rumors, that some strangers bearing, rather impressive weaponry have shown up in the last few hours and started asking a lot of questions. Would you happen to know anything about this?"
Yeah, they're talking about me.
Can't argue with that.
She says, "Quite. Let me rephrase. What exactly is your intention here?"
We have business that is to deal with a potential problem that you may have in the form of large, hulking monsters called Mistrals.
This is true.
Yeah, we're here to kill the Mistrals.
You.
Or drive away.
No offense, but there's 4, 5 of you by some account. Exactly what authority derives you the ability to slay these creatures? We've put everything at them. Damn near unloaded a cannon into one at close range, and I watched the top half crawl away while the bottom half began to sprout a nostril and eyes out of the stump of its legs.
Well then, Phelan here, he has all the answers. I just have the muscle. I have this big hammer, and I just do my best to help. But Phelan's the one that really knows all the answers here.
We are sent by, we are representatives of the Guild of Mazes, and we are experts when it comes to dealing with problems that may require, in the form of my friend here, big, strong muscles, and in the form of myself, maybe a little bit of subtlety. Plus, we just, we try our best. That's, what. So, hey, at least we're trying.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to offer us.
Right, we're a team of highly skilled adventurers, and we want to do what we can to help.
Yes, plus we also may have, some latent magical abilities. We may be able to assist via magical spells. I looks around, I don't see any particularly... It doesn't seem like a very magic-intensive town, at least at the moment. So we can,
Magic is rare, and it's even rarer as the quality of life goes down. Mages are not fond of mud huts and broken, leaky roofs. The things that we are fine to deal with is we supply them with the very exotic crystals and materials they need to conduct their spell work. But nonetheless, information travels fast in this town, and you'll be wise to tell your companions that. We've had trouble here before. People dressed like this, she motions between you again, acting like warriors. We'll treat you as such when you've proven yourself as such. Bring us one dead troll. One. And I will have you in front of my bosses in no time. We will have money and supplies for you, and you will have a raiding party.
I like
Bring
partying.
me one dead troll.
Well, I'm glad that you asked for one dead troll, because we were looking to dead more than one, so there's that.
I'm
We
sure.
dead troll.
I'm sure that sounds delightful. Really, I'm very excited for all of you. All
You,
right, nothing to see here. Dead men walking. Is she?
Wait,
Yes.
before you go, I'm terribly sorry. I know you want to get back to whatever you like to do. You mentioned that there were others. Do you happen to know roughly in which direction they may have gone? Maybe some are still alive. Maybe
Others?
they. Yeah, you mentioned there were other warriors or so-called fighters who had traveled through your town before. If they died, I mean, that's some things we might be able to bring back to assist this potential raiding party, because we will be bringing back one dead troll in the coming days.
They went into the woods about 3 weeks ago. They didn't come back. I'm going to imagine it's likely because they fell in love with the local fishing holes and decided to build themselves a small log cabin on the edge of a peaceful lake so that they could enjoy listening to its shores lap in the early morning dew. And we will likely not hear from them again, because what else could they possibly want for out there in the middle of the Low Valley woods?
Sounds like a dream come true. Something we can all hope for.
Yes, indeed. I have never agreed with my compatriot more.
All right, well, we have some friends to get back to. Thank you for the hospitality, milady.
You are quite welcome. I'll have no trouble. You might have spell work, and you might have well, I guess you're no better than about 2 or 3 of my workers by the look of it, but I'll have no trouble from you either way. As she makes mention to Fia's great strength, but really no outward appearance of, shall we say, organized either spell work or really a demeanor. As a barbarian, you are quite, I'm going to say, unkempt and rather imposing. And having spent most of the day sort of asking around questions in a circle, the people who are now looking at you don't really have much respect for you. And that becomes quite obvious in their sneers and sort of low-toned murmurs as they begin to turn around and walk away from you, leaving you standing there yet again in sort of the mud and gravel of the streets of Fog Iron Landing. And Phelan, you still have more hours of the day left. Obviously, that investigation check took several hours of your time, but that leaves you now with still more daylight before you bed down for the evening and face a possible encounter roll. What is it exactly that you would like to do?
Phelan, I have no money. So, I can accompany you shopping. But I have no money unless you want to buy me something nice.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure that anything that I buy for you would just get ruined. That being said, due to the general way that we were treated, I don't know if my plan would work. Now, I can definitely try and go to the general store and just see what they've got, but I don't know if window shopping will frustrate them more, or if I will be able to fast talk my way out. But we definitely should let the other traveling companions that we have know that we're not exactly well received.
At this time, Erithil is stepping out of the tavern and looking for a blacksmith.
At this time, Erithil, as you stumble out of the tavern several hours later, I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw from you as you attempt to keep your balance, and we'll see exactly how far the beer and ale has managed to work its way into your system. Now, quite far the opposite, and having spent many hours now drinking uninterrupted, Erithil, you stagger out into the streets, and it seems odd that all of those bushes are taller and that the sky is lower and the streets are crooked, but you are still upright for the moment. What exactly you're gonna try and find a blacksmith?
Yes, I'm finding blacksmith possibly for that Drake skin.
Okay.
Maybe sell it.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check, but this will be at disadvantage as you are not in any shape to really be haggling or having met much of any conversation really at this point.
Can I follow Aratil?
That's
Ooh.
a
That is a critical failure. We will be rolling for variance. And Inel, you are more than welcome to follow your companion and fellow guildmate as she stumbles into the streets. Rolling for
Yeah.
variance on that
Gonna do
critical
that.
failure, it looks like Erithil, you, in your attempt to investigate, are going to be going up to one of the groups of miners that have gathered near the watchtower, and in an attempt to ask where exactly it is that they get their metal work done, are going to end up, vomiting on one of their shoes. And it's going to start turning into a bit of a scene as they start accusing you of insult and injury to character. Inel, not far behind, you will be able to sort of see all of this playing out in real time. The miners don't seem ready to immediately attack your companion, but they are certainly starting to work themselves up to it as it is getting later into the evening, and some of them have likely already started unwinding for the day.
I'm gonna go to the side of Aratil and just try to calm down the situation. Okay. Sorry. You are minors, correct? I'm sorry that my friend here, vomited on you. Is there something I can do to make it better? Maybe a piece of gold?
They're going to start sort of murmuring amongst themselves for a moment. Yeah. I think a gold piece would be fine. Yes, a gold piece would be fine. I think that would be just about appropriate, as a few of them begin to chime in. And it looks like they're willing to let you go for that.
Alright, so I'm gonna toss them a gold piece to
Make
the
sure to
one
deduct it from your inventory.
that I'm doing
And
this.
Inel, you will watch as the miners lose interest and begin to walk away. Immediately now, back towards the very inn and tavern that you are staying at, and that Erithil had just staggered out of. All of them happy to split this gold piece into what likely be an evening of food and drink, and then even leftovers.
Yeah, Aratil, you're gonna owe me for that. But hey, we're gonna get you a bed, okay? And I just drag her to the inn.
Okay.
Fine.
You are gonna take Erithil back to the very inn that she had just stumbled out of and try and get her into bed. In the meantime, while that's occurring, Fia and Phelan, you were going to take a trip towards one of the general stores, am I correct?
Yes, at least just to take a gander at what they may have in stock.
Okay. Which one would you be headed towards? The one in the center of town or the one that is more towards the outskirts and a little bit more humble in its offerings?
I believe you said the one in the center of town was the mining store. So I will travel towards the more humble appearance of the stores.
Okay.
And just so we all know, I'm not like messing with my hammer anymore because I kind of like, I see that these people aren't too fond of this hammer and our presence, so I'm gonna tone it down a little bit.
All right. Fia now keeping the hammer close at hand, but almost as if a child refusing to stop playing with their newly acquired toy. You grip it tightly and keep it by your side, looking at it, knowing that should anybody nearby not be paying attention, you will likely start swinging it with wild abandon again. And thus taking you to the more humble of the two general stores, the one on the outskirts of town. You are going to be treated to an interior that is several shelves of dry goods, and as I had sort of described earlier, very meager offerings by the standards of an adventurer. There are a couple daggers and a couple swords, but this is mostly a store for shovels, rakes, farm equipment, hand tools, things for planing and working wood, saws, hammers, benches. There's barrels full of salted pork and there are apples, cabbages, groceries here for the townsfolk to pick up and make use of. There also seems to be a fair amount of fishing tackle and line here, as you imagine there must be some sort of local game that inhabits the nearby lake. I'm going to turn this music down just a tad. But, Fia, Phelan, what do you want to do as you are perusing the aisles of this small, humble shop, as it looks like you're being sort of closely watched by an elderly man who is sort of looking over the edges of his otherwise wireframe glasses?
You had mentioned a few items. Do they have any, like, I don't know what happened to my accent there. Do they have any like pots and pans or anything that could be like hit together to make a semi loud noise or anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. They have, there are tin buckets here. There are literally pots and pans. There's large metal wash bins for the, washing of clothes and all sorts of daily commodities. There's, in that realm too, if you were looking for the loudest possible thing that you could probably bang together, they do have just what is a normal metal mace. And then on top of that, at the end of one of the aisles, there is the blade of a plow, which, due to its kind of concave and curved nature, when you bang it, it makes this reverberating echo noise. Of course, the plow blade is likely too heavy and too awkward for you to take with you into the field, but it does make a definite and substantial noise over all of the other objects in this shop.
Excellent. Phelan will approach the older gentleman behind the counter and state, "Well, hello, my name is Phelan. I'm here because I think you have exactly what I'm looking for. I see that you have some fishing line and a couple of, buckets per se might be of interest to me. Also, that pork that you have, how much for a couple of pieces of said?"
3 pieces of salt pork, 30 feet of fishing line, 2 tin buckets. Is that all?
Do you have maybe 2 more tin buckets? Maybe like 4 total?
Wait here. He leaves you and, in a process that you can only describe as laborious, gets down from his stool, grabs his cane, and heads out to the back of this shop to return with 2 tin buckets that look like they may have been collecting a little bit of rainwater and are kind of rusted on the inside. But he looks at you and kind of winks and says, 2 for 1.
I love a deal, and let me tell you that the Guild of Mazes loves a good deal.
The Guild of who?
I'm glad that you asked. You see, we are representatives of an adventuring party, and we we are looking to requisition some supplies from you. Now, if you wouldn't mind informing me how much you're looking to get for all of these fine items,
Mm,
I may have to return later. Or
6 silver pieces.
oh, 6 silver pieces. That sounds excellent. I will count out 6 silver pieces. Um, I know you said that there weren't very many weapons, but is there a does this gentleman doubtfully, do they have like a bow or some arrows or anything like that?
They do have a bow. They have 2 short bows. They look fairly simply crafted, but sturdy. You imagine they're either for hunting or keeping, pests and small game from getting into the nearby fields. The arrows that they have, there are only 2 quivers though, and they look to kind of almost be matched with the bows.
Okay. Well, I think that this is all that I need for right now. Um, I appreciate your expert service, and I can't wait to do business with you again. Um, that being said, we've been in town not very long, and you're on the outskirts. Do you happen to know, um, have maybe heard any stories um, about these actually, no. There's a young boy we've heard about who has been injured recently. Do you know anything about that particularly?
Which one of the boys are you referring to? We've had
Oh,
a number of accidents around town between the mine and the trolls.
that's a shame, those trolls. Yes, I am assuming the most recent, we had just heard about it. Most recently, I believe a young child. Um, do you know of any injured people who survived a troll attack as well? That might be some pertinent information, as I'm looking to compile some information.
Let me think here for a moment. The old man is going to rack his brain, and it looks like you are in luck. About as good as it gets, really. And he says, I don't know off the top of my head about anyone who's survived an attack. I do know that the miller's boy, one of them, got caught trying to steal some food out of the back of the inn recently and damn near broke his arm. There's a bit of a feud going on between the miller and the bar ship there. The owners are, well, not getting any flour that they need for the kitchen, and the millers are, well, fairly angry because until that kid's arm heals right, he can't help with the family trade. It's turned into a bit of bad blood.
I that definitely sounds like um that definitely sounds terrible. Not getting food at an inn, that's kind of oof, how are you going to do business, right?
Kind
Well,
has no food.
I once again I have to return to my associates.
Hold
And
on. I,
oh, I'm
I, I
holding.
didn't say that I was done. You see, I don't know about anyone who survived a mist troll attack, but there was one of the miners. He told a pretty interesting story one of the other nights that a lot of people kind of laughed him out of the room for. Nonsense, that kind of thing. But I'll tell you, I've been living too long in this rise to believe that there's a limit to the strange things that you might see out there in the wilderness. It's a bizarre place. He told stories of a troll, sophisticated, almost dapper-like, about the size of one of his kinfolk, but without the hair, clean-shaven, covered in some sort of tattoos and wearing finery as if some sort of noble from Kylithia. Troll's been sighted a couple times since then, but I think it might just be the rumor spreading. It's a good yarn. But there was something about what that man said that night about the troll. He said that he spoke in common, but it was a common that he'd never heard before. He said it was like, almost had a kind of sing-song quality to it. Like someone was strumming a sad melody in the air. And I don't know too much about all the things that turn in this world and the way that the mists do change, but anything that I know is that those sorts of sad melodies, I've heard stories before. Creatures like that, they come through from the dark realms, the other side, the place where you see all of the night gaunts and shadow wraiths, the fiends who dwell in long shadow. They too traffic in dark melody. They are Thothemi's minions. And it's my thought that maybe there is a sophisticated troll coming through from the other side, whipping the Mist Valley trolls here into some sort of fighting band, coordinating them. It's the only thing that explains why we haven't just had an all-out fight with them yet. They keep raiding and retreating and raiding and retreating. It's not like trolls. I've seen these trolls all my life. Maybe one, two of them at most at a time. And they come out of the woods and they try and eat themselves stupid. And the guards end up pushing them back in great number. They don't organize. But that's enough for me. Sorry, if you can do anything about it, I implore you, please try. It's sad times here in the landing.
I agree. That's quite the tale. It sounds like my kind of gentleman in a nice clothing. Maybe you can get something from this gentleman, Fia. But that being said, haha, joking aside, thank you for your time. That was a wonderful story. I love it. I didn't quite catch your name. I would love to come back some other time and potentially buy more of your wares. So we'll be leaving, but thank you.
He extends a wrinkly, kind of knotted old hand. He says, "My name is Alether."
Thank you, Alether. Thank you for the information.
Alether!
Fist bump. Alether. Thank Alether. I'm Fia of the Long Roads. Fist bump.
He'll close his hand, but it just remains in one place and sort of shakes for a moment, so you'll have to bump it for him.
And lean over the counter and bump.
Okay, in doing so, he nods and he says, "May the goddesses be with you, adventurers." That accent wasn't right. That wasn't right at all.
Same to you.
And he says, "We do persevere."
You're doing a fine job.
Let's hope we all persevere.
All right.
Maybe some.
Erithos whispers to something to Inel whenever he's taking me to the tavern.
Which is?
Erithos going to pull out the tunic-sized drake skin and gonna very slobberily say, "I need you, because I can't right now, to go to a blacksmith, sell this. I need you to specifically hear my words carefully. Are you listening?
Yes, I am. Stay calm. Stay calm.
I need you to get me a mug's worth of charcoal.
A mugs.
I'm not done. And I need you to get another mug's worth of aluminum powder. You understand?
Yes.
Alright. I'm gonna go lay down. And she reaches down to her pouch and just says, and if you need more money, use this. And I give him all of my gold.
Okay, how much gold is
Oh,
that?
damn.
It is 14 gold's worth.
14 gold has just transferred hands into Inel. Your coin purse has greatly swollen this day. What would you like to do?
Arethel is going back to the tavern to sleep.
Aramin, you
So-
also see all of this happening, by the way.
I'm just.
I
lost.
I know. I just. I can't.
Say no more. Say no more. Inel, what would you like to do?
Push the top.
I'm gonna go to a blacksmith and try to sell the Drake skin. After that, I'm trying to find a mug's worth of charcoal and a mug's worth of. I forgot the last one.
Aluminum powder.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead and give me an investigation check as you attempt to track down these two items.
Okay, I'm not good with that, but it's gonna be funny.
We shall see. Thankfully, not having taken the same liberties with the alcohol during the day, you will find that this is probably going to go a little bit better than a natural one, but we'll see.
Investigation?
Investigation, please.
Good. I'm good with that.
Okay, a 14. That is going to make the charcoal easily findable for but copper pieces. And a mug's worth, a single copper piece nonetheless. As to the aluminum powder, that is going to be a bit trickier of a find, but you do locate someone who for 5 silver is willing to mill down some aluminum into a pouch, essentially. A mug's worth is an approximate measure based on the mug, but you'd say that it seems about right. And
yeah.
then finally, the drake skin. Let's see how this plays out for you. It seems that the skin itself, having been cut from the hide of this creature and not cured or stretched or tanned or really done anything other than sort of being rolled up into a pack and slept on for about 2 days, is pretty ripe. And while the scales on it are still harder than most steels, the entire thing is kind of grotesque once unfurled, and most of the smiths that you present it to look at you as if you were a little unhinged, and you get a lot of reactions along the lines of, no, I mean, maybe, but no! And you do, with the 14, find out that in order to get that turned into anything of value, really, to these blacksmiths, you would need it first to be cured and stretched and turned into a functional leather, which means that you will need to see a ranger or some leather worker who is familiar with exotic beasts and the way that their scales set over time and dry and adhere to their flesh, so that one might craft a suitable armor from this mist drake's hide.
I'm gonna ask the last blacksmith and ask him, you know someone who could work things out and I can, well, make it better?
They are not going to, with that 14, be able to tell you any specific names. They will point to a location on your map, however, where you could likely find, if there's anyone in the Rise who knows the most about this sort of thing, they'll be here at the ranger camp. It's just a little to the west of town, a little north. It's just before you get into the North Wood.
Thank you. I'm gonna go tell Aritel, and I hope they won't punch me for that.
Okay. That is going to take a few hours worth of your kind of gathering and talking and meeting people in order to accomplish that investigation check. And at this point in the evening, when you're done, it will be getting dark as the day has finally started to get away from our adventurers. And you find that it is the approximate relative time of about 9-10 p.m.
All right, Fia's. I assume me and you, Phelan, are just going back, right? Fia's tired. Fia did some teleporting today, and Fia wants to sleep.
Yes,
So Fia's gonna go. I'm going to sleep.
fair enough. Enjoy your rest. Maybe you can come down tomorrow in something that's not quite made of burlap. If not,
We'll hope for the best.
yes, please. That would be wonderful.
Okay. From there, if everybody is done for the evening, I will take
Well,
the
one
encounter
thing.
roll.
One thing, I'm gonna go ask the bartender where is Aritel chamber.
She will direct you to the second floor, pointing up through what is sort of the cutaway in the ceiling above to like a banister next to a little walkway of hotel, well, of inn rooms up above the main gathering area. And she'll be able to point. She goes, I decided to give her a closer room than a further one based on how far she seemed to be willing to take it. And points to one that is maybe 2 doors down from the very start of the stairs.
Alright, so I'm gonna open the door, just put everything on the side, and give her back 12 gold, because I'm gonna keep one to to make it even with what I gave to Sailor.
Okay. Sounds fair.
This is gonna be fun.
All right. If
I apologize. I
Please.
do have one thing. I'm so sorry. I do have one thing I'd like to do before we bed down for the evening. Since Phelan is a wood elf and they can trance, they will stay up a little bit later and wait for everyone to go to sleep. And then we'll approach the barkeep and be like, I know that you're on the outskirts of the Rise, but has the Murder's Oracle made their way down this way? Or would you know where they might be located, or rumors potentially, since you are a bar? Must get a lot of visitors.
Sorry, say that. You cut out for me just as.
My apologies. The Murder's Oracle.
Yes.
I'm sure that if anybody has heard or seen them, I'm sure that you would have heard a story or two. If you would be willing to share that information with me, that would be wonderful.
Rolling. It seems that the barkeep, this one having changed shifts with the woman earlier and just here to watch as the crowd winds down for the night and many of these people begin to go home and leave you here, seems to interested for a moment in entertaining this and says, exactly how does this name come up? Where's this coming from?
Mutual. Phelan will sit there for a moment as Draconis tries to come up with a plan for what to say, and then go, let's say that we have mutual patrons. Let's go with that. Which
Well,
is a perception.
from what I know, she stays in the town, in the camp to the northeast of town, on the south side of the Portal Wood. They don't talk about her much. They don't really like to acknowledge that she exists. But she lives there amongst them, this is true enough. I've heard rumor more than once confirming it. Exactly why would you be asking me about this now? Here, in the middle of the night.
I have my own personal reasons, and I would love to share them with you, but I feel like that's not really what this arrangement is about.
What exactly is this arrangement about?
Like I said, I'm looking for someone, and we share a mutual patron. More than that, I would prefer not to mention.
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, what exactly is my incentive here? The Murders Oracle is a well-guarded, revered woman. Her servants are brutal. What?
I don't
These
think you have-
conversations. Do you work for her? Is this a test?
No,
I have nothing to do with any of what's been going on in the camps lately. I have nothing to do with the guards trying to upset the way of life for the Portalwood folk. I have nothing to do with that.
No. Can I make an insight check?
Sure. Go ahead.
I want to see if he's just putting on a show for me.
It's in what way? As if he.
As if he's like, oh, is this a test? I swear I have nothing to do with, A, B, or C.
But I have everything to do with all of those things.
Exactly.
Okay. In this case, it looks as if you are getting a legitimate read of fear and dismay off of this person. You've touched upon something which seems to frighten them in a way that even the reaction that you got throughout the day of asking people about the mist trolls did not seem to evoke such a visceral response of fear and terror. Whatever it is that this person is afraid for, it looks almost more cosmic and less even that of the horrors of the body.
All right. Well, listen, I may not have been entirely truthful. All I'm going to tell you is that I work for an interested party who may or may not be looking for information regarding them, and everything you have said is completely confidential because I really don't like to talk about my own personal business. So, if you have any more information that you would like to share, once again, completely confidential. If not, then I will order a beautiful drink and I will go upstairs and this conversation never happened.
All right, Phelan, give me a persuasion check as you attempt to ply this otherwise kind of bored barkeep in the middle of this small town with a little bit of money and entertainment for the evening. In the form of a rather... Okay, nope, that's not going to do it. This dangerous conversation that might have made interesting bar talk is going to be just a tad too dangerous for this barkeep as they say, I don't think it's worth getting involved, frankly. I know that... Listen, she'll be goring a calf soon, and if you're trying to find her, it's always a spectacle. You just need to show up, and it'll be hard to miss the calf being slaughtered to predict the future. It's unpleasant. And, well, you'll know her. That's all I will say. I'm not getting involved in the politics of the portal camp. They and their ilk are far too dangerous and too familiar for my tastes.
Fair enough. I once again appreciate everything. I won't, if it makes you feel any better, I will probably forget who you are. So if they have any problems with me, then they won't hear anything about you. Have a wonderful night. And Phelan, as they get up, leaves like a silver piece on the countertop.
Okay. The barkeep will pocket it nervously, disquieted by the conversation just had as they sort of begin to talk to themselves, and you can hear them murmuring as you head up to the stairs, like, oh, no good can come of this. This was... Oh, why did you say such things? And that is going to be, I think, the end of the player shenanigans until this encounter roll, unless...
Last thing, I just want to use my sharpening kit just to sharpen up my axe. It will give me a 1d4 on my next attack with it. That's it. And then I'm going to sleep.
Okay, sure. I'm in no means trying to rush you along. I just want to make sure that, we're there when we get there. So, if that's the case, then we will need an encounter roll from one of our companions.
Actually would probably come from the newest of the party.
Oh, 2 people that have yet to roll encounter rolls, which is our rogue as well as the
Touche. So the rogue and the wizard, one of you two will have to pick.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Go for it.
Go ahead and give me a D100, and I will roll against to see exactly what transpires in the evening. As I consult my book of death.
All right.
Almost 50.
Okay.
Middle of the road seems to be the better spot to be.
And we're on the 3rd. I'm on the 3rd floor, right? Yeah.
Okay. You are all going to enjoy several hours of sleep as the night transitions into a more calmer, quieter time. The winds seem to die down as the fog draws closer in around all of the buildings and begins to fill the streets. Some of you at least, sleep easily, now having imbibed quite your body weight in alcohol and spent productive days. Others less so, as you must face with the night's onset of the previous day's horrors in the form of both betrayal as well as the abandoning of, the abandoner is now knee-deep, is in a drunken stupor. She's fine. That is going to leave us to, finally, there's going to be a knock upon the door, it looks, of... Oh no, Kefioso is the one who rolled. So it will actually be on the knock will be on the door of Inel. Inel, you are going to hear on your door in the middle of the night. Early morning, as it were.
I'm gonna grab my spell book and my quarterstaff and open gently the door.
Okay, you look into a darkened hall that is illuminated by only a couple candles in sconces along its length. And there in front of you, standing at the height of essentially the doorknob, is this, what looks to be 2 individuals, rather, wearing dark, off purple, kind of bluish cloaks gathered about them. They have many eyes floating amongst the shadows of their pulled cowls that seem to sort of shift and change places and turn different colors and blink in an off-rhythm manner. One of them seems to have about 6 of these eyes, and the other one seems to have closer to 13 or 14 of them. You cannot tell their shapes, as beneath their small cloaks they appear to be as if nothing more than sort of wisps of solidified shadow. There doesn't seem to be any actual substance, yet somehow their cloak falls over the shoulders of something. You're not exactly sure. Either way, their strange countenances look up to you, and in a kind of gruff voice, one of them quickly asks, "May we trouble you for a favor?"
With someone with so nice eyes? Sure.
Me and my brother, you see, we're in a little bit of a debate. He claims that his magic is greater than mine, and I claim mine is greater than his. We are in need of a judge, and it seems that, well, you were the first available.
Sure. Where will this. Where will this go? Can I grab a friend and just. Give me a minute. And I'm gonna go to. Which one I choose? Armin rooms.
All right, before you can leave this
Oh no.
area, they are going to look at you and say, No. We asked you for help."
Alright. Well, first, can you tell me your names? That would be nice. My name is Inel Nasera.
One of them simply says, "Names are unnecessary. It's irrelevant to the contest."
Sure, so let's go outside, I guess?
No need. You can stay just right here.
Sure. And I just wait. Like, my hand is on my countenance pouch. Like, just gently, like my arms are on the side, but actually I'm snuggling in with my components in case something goes wrong.
Sure. You are going to get ready, and one of them begins quickly incanting some amount of magic words, clearly faster than you can follow, and ones that you are unfamiliar with, as they reach an end to their somatic and verbal components, quickly washing you in what seems to be some amount of color-changing light that changes your perspective on everything in the room around you. And when the flash is done, you seem to have taken on the form of some sort of large, it looks to be almost a blue jay of some kind. Perhaps it's a woodpecker. You're not quite sure as you look down at your own feathers. And one of the cloaked small figures begins laughing to himself immediately. I told you I could do it. All right. The other one is going to stand back and say, this is easy. What you lack, my friend, is permanence. And they are going to begin incanting their own magic spell and start working to weave together arcane energy in the air.
I'm gonna fly.
You have a moment here.
I'm gonna fly away.
You're going to try and fly away. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me, in this case, what would be, I will take an acrobatics or an athletics check to pump your newfound Blue Jay wings and try and propel yourself down the hallway, or what is your strategy to try and flee away from these two little magical
I'm gonna go in the
gremlins?
kitchen. In the kitchen.
Okay.
Like in the kitchen.
Okay, well, you're upstairs in your room, so keep that in mind.
All right.
I can transition this to give you a better idea of what that looks like real quick.
That would be nice.
No worries. I'm gonna bring the in levels out of the GM.
I hope I have fucking windows. That will be nice.
So, overlaying. Oh, I think it went underneath. One moment. Yeah, there we go. As we will now kind of explore the rooms up here, you find yourself at the end of the first floor. As I move these tokens out of the way, I will slide yours there. There we go. Inel, you are basically right here. The
I don't-
two small gremlins who are in front of you, I'm going to have tokens for in just a second. But basically just imagine that they are standing in the way of your door, basically barring your path.
Do we have a window or no?
You do have one window, yes, pinged correctly there.
Is it open?
It is not currently open. You can see the fog pooling outside.
Right. So I don't think hiding under the bed's gonna be okay. So I'm just gonna fly over their head and try to go here.
Okay. So you're going to try and fly around. Go ahead and give me that athletics check to try and basically sprint as fast as you can around and out of sight before this other little gremlin creature made of some sort of shadowy, mysterious energy begins to try and put some sort of much more long-lasting effect upon you.
So it's acrobatic or athletic?
I will take either, yes.
Alright. Here goes nothing. 9.
Okay. And with that, you are not going to be able to get out of range as you flap into the hallway and desperately down to the end of the stair and are just about to turn the corner when there is another resounding sort of zlank. And with an accompanying flash, you find yourself now in a new form that you're trying to sort of figure out as it unfurls in front of you. And it looks as if you've been turned into a griffin.
Nice. So now that I am a griffin, I'm gonna look back at the two guys and try to look angry, try to intimidate them. Like, what did you do?
They are going to be just laughing and good one, that was a good one. And they, the one that originally turned you into a blue jay is going to say, I'll think of something better. Hold still, and is going to begin incanting once more. Are you going to remain there for?
Can I roll an Arcana check to figure out what he's gonna cast?
You could attempt an Arcana check in order to see what it is that they are going to attempt to do.
All right. 9 again.
It looks like they're gonna try and turn you into something else.
All right. I'm gonna go right up, like this on their head. So if they change me into something heavy, I squash them.
Okay, you're gonna just like get into the air above them so that, got it. As you do that, one more discharge of arcane energy is gonna crackle through the air, and you are going to find yourself now in the air above them as you start seeing your arms and legs return to their normal form, and being unable to support yourself in the air, you're going to kind of land as they scoot to one side and leave you now prone in front of them. And one of them goes, got it wrong. All right, need to practice more. Brother, we're leaving. And with that, you see the two of them in a leapfrog manner begin to kind of hop over one another and in an odd display make their way out the nearby western window at the end of this hall here at the top of this door. And as this happens, you're going to notice, Inel, that looking down, it looks like whatever it was that they were trying to turn you into next seemingly got either messed up in the actual spell, or there was some sort of problem, as you look down to see one of your hands is still like the claw of the griffin itself. As well, so is your mouth, now this beak that extends about 6-7 inches in the front of your face.
Do I think that I still can cast with with razor sharp claws?
Go ahead and give me, well, you can attempt to cast a spell and see what happens.
All right, I'm gonna go cast magic missiles on them at level 1.
At them.
Yes.
Okay, they are. You'll have to do that fairly quickly as they're making their way out the window. Is that the idea?
I'm casting it on the one that just did the spell, hoping that if he dies, I'm gonna be okay.
Okay, as you begin to cast magic missile, that is going to be successful, as you find your beak and your claw do not otherwise impair your ability to invoke your somatic and verbal components. And that magic missile is going to go streaking across the hallway here of this upper level of the inn and thud into what seems to be some sort of small energy shield on the outskirts of this creature's countenance, there being a rippling of energy and arcane sparks going off into the air as a result of it, and they look unfazed.
And I say, looking right at the one, say, yes, you're the best. You're the best one.
Okay. One of them, the one that you shot at, is going to start. That's the one that you called the best, correct?
Yes, the one that just failed the spell, and I just went like I'm acting like I was testing them to see if it was truly the best.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a persuasion to try and play that off as if you weren't just bombarding them with magical missiles. Ooh. That is not gonna be great, as they seem to be otherwise not moved, and they don't find this funny, as one of them is going to begin.
I run toward one of my friend's doors and just lock myself in.
Okay, Erithil's door is the closest and is basically right here. That is where you will find your companion, having stumbled up drunkenly not too long ago.
I'm gonna just open the door and say, "Oh fuck, it's Sarbatil, she's drunk," and say, "I'm being attacked."
Does that wake me up?
Yes, that definitely wakes you up. And at this point, everybody else is also awake, as the noises and the screaming, the transmogrification of the human into and out of griffin form, all of these things and more have proved to be substantial, that there are starting to be other individuals emerging from their rooms, and there is a general panic as people start to see what's going on here. Erithil, what are you doing first and foremost as you sort of come awake as one of your companions is bursting into your room and screaming about there being some sort of sudden attack? Find a good...
With my passive perception, would I notice the components that I asked him to buy earlier?
With your passive perception, I'm going to say no, based on the fact that that is going to be modified fairly heavily by your circumstance.
Okay. And I'm still drunk, aren't I?
You are not drunk, but you are hungover, which is, for anybody who's ever actually done that, not a good way to be when you're trying to make very sudden snap observations about the changing world around you.
I'm gonna do something before they open the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out a rope from my things and cast rope trip trick and just fly out in the magical hole and say, "Come with me, they're gonna attack."
Okay, I'm going to. Can I roll perception then to see if I can find the components? Because those are important.
Yes, go ahead and roll perception as you see if your companion has the components that you sent them to the store for. Because that's clearly the important part of this.
Trust me, in the grand scheme of things, yes, they are.
Okay, you're going to, with that, notice that your companion's packs are different, but you're not really going to necessarily see on them the charcoal and the powdered
Actually,
aluminum.
I put them in a room last time, so they're on the side.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Ah.
If I noticed them in the room because he left them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, in which case, yeah, then which they would be there. You would be able to see them with that.
Okay. I will grab him and I will follow him up the rope trick because right now this yelling is getting to her head.
Okay. As you climb up into the rope trick, it's going to be none too soon, as without that, you would be facing a dexterity saving throw as a massive bolt of lightning charges and then blows the door to your room off of its hinges, sends the actual, like, the static energy in the room so high into the air that you can see bolts of static arcing off of the bed that you were just sleeping on a moment ago, Erithil, and the floorboards take on the burnt scarring of singed wood. There's a smell of cooking ozone in the air, and these creatures begin now frantically looking around. And it doesn't look like they're going to put two and two together here as they scan the room. One of them is going to throw out some fairy fire onto like the immediate area of where you were, but being safe up in the rope trick, that's not going to catch you. And they will, it looks like, turn around and disappear. What exactly they're going to do, you don't know, as you can't really see out of the bottom of this rope trick very far. I mean, it's such a small, like, jaunt down because of the fact that you're only in like a 10-foot tall room. The tallest the actual rope trick could have been is, like 3-4 feet off the ground. So they're going to disappear from sight is what I'm driving at. And you're going to have to sort of just hope that they are gone. How do you want to play that situation?
Erithil just sit there the entire time, and at this time mixing the aluminum powder as well as the charcoal together in a sack.
Okay.
Well, that's a weird first date. I'm gonna go grab a bit of food and just give it to her. So it's for being, well, helping me. It's for being my friend right now.
I will forgive you barging into my room and giving me the most painful headache I have ever had.
I'm not the one who drank. It was you. But yeah, sorry.
I know, but thank you for getting what I requested. And this is this is a warning to anybody out there that knows what I'm doing right now. What I have created is tannerite. This is an explosive that is very cheap and easily made, so do not try this at home unless you are supervised or at least know what you're doing. This is very dangerous.
All right. Having mixed together your charcoal and aluminum, Erithil and your companion Inel, are you simply just going to remain in this rope trick?
Yes, for maybe an hour, the maximum time I can.
Okay. While this hour is transpiring, what is the rest of the party doing? As you've been woken up to now, what was a minor display of magic discharging outside of your doors into a massive thunderous crack of the supercharge, and then sort of like supercharge and then discharge of lightning as you are basically shaken from your sleep. Everybody seems to be in a state of panic, and you could hear there are footsteps and all kinds of voices carrying out in the hallway as people are trying to figure out exactly like what the hell just happened.
Fia's just gonna like grab that axe you just sharpened and kind of bust out her door and say, Who's there? What is there? Who's there?" And like look down the hallway.
All right.
Not quite as aggressive. Oh, sorry. No.
Oh, please.
Oh, I was just going to say not quite as aggressive as Phelan will slink out of their room, trying to be as sneaky as possible.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth check, Valen. Excellent. You are going to manage to not attract too much attention to yourself as you slink out of your room. And getting an idea of what seems to be going on in here, the infolk are all gathered trying to exchange stories as rapidly as possible as what has transpired. And there seems to be some finger pointing towards an upstairs window, out of which recently it seems like something has either appeared or disappeared. The shouting is fairly vague, and you're not quite sure what to make of it.
All right, Phelan, you know they're gonna blame this on us again. Whatever's happening, they're gonna blame it on us.
Well, I mean, yes, you're probably right, but try not to look in my general direction if there's still whatever this thing is. Listen, I know I'm a bit of an arse, but if whatever's making this big kaboom is still up here, I don't want them to be alerted to my general presence, although I would love to just be out in the open. Anyway, let's just take a look. You do your thing, and I'll do mine.
Right. I probably couldn't even have seen Phelan. I don't know, but are we even on the same floor, same hallway? I'm not sure.
You would not have noticed Phelan, just if nothing else, having not announced her own hiding, the 16 stealth is higher than your passive perception.
Okay, so I was talking to myself then. I'm gonna stomp down the hallway and kind of like see if I can like check on my friends' doors. Maybe I come across Phelan's door, whichever is the order. Aramin's door.
You'd run into Phelan and Aramin as they're on the same floor that is above the. If you follow the stairs to these stairs over here, it is on the next floor up.
Okay, I see now. Okay, all right, guys. You heard that commotion? Looks like all the townspeople are down there talking, and whatever it is, I have a feeling it's going to come down on us.
Yes, our loud friend is very correct. We had some information we ascertained the other day, but we don't know if this thing, whatever it may be, is still here, so let's just err on the side of caution and keep an ear out. Okay?
Airman, are you asleep? Are you awake?
Oh, no, I'm
Okay, you were
definitely awake.
Okay. All right. Now we seem to be missing a couple of our friends.
Erthel during this time is just to look down at the friend that she's with and just say, "What in the hell happened to your face?"
That's a story for in about an hour. And you see the talon.
All right, so we gotta go.
Yeah, it's my first day on the job, and I'm a bird now.
Okay. So Fia, Phelan, and Armin are going to go looking for their companions
Yep.
and
Sorry.
not find them. Instead, you find an empty room that has been blown apart by a recent magical explosion.
Erthel's room.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. Looks like it was. Of course, it had to be one of us that caused this, huh? It looks like Erthel was making some type of commotion over here.
It's
Can
possible.
we hear them or not?
At this point, you would be able to hear them.
I'm gonna poke my head right through the hole and say, Armin, it's me, Nell.
What
And
the hell?
Give me a wisdom saving throw as you see a disembodied half bird's face emerge from the middle of the air.
Who do you need that from?
I'm
All
gonna.
of
Oh,
us?
just Fia. All right,
Great roll.
Fia. As you make, as you fail a wisdom saving throw, go ahead and give me a melee attack against. As you just immediately strike.
Decapitation.
Okay, it's gonna be a not quite a decapitation, but
Right.
you almost take this bird's head clean off as you just immediately attack with your great axe, not waiting to see where the rest of this invisible creature is coming from. As at the final end of your axe stroke, you hear the words, "It's me."
What? Inel? What? What is
Yes.
that? What happened to your face?
well, what you believe is I said that two gremlins with multiple eyes did this to me.
Actually, I think I would believe that.
And they almost killed me because I may have targeted them with a spell because they did this to me, and I hid in there with Aratil. Say hi, Aratil. And I just grab her hand and try not to scratch her.
You reach out for her, and you grab her arm, and she's just with her other hand just rubbing her forehead. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, all right. Do you know where they went? Did you see where they went?
I was hiding, so I don't know, but I guess they went back to where they crawled from.
Can we kind of reverse engineer where the crack of arcane energy came from and try to like extrapolate where they might have fired from and where they might
I
have.
may be able to do that.
Go ahead and give me an investigation as you attempt to sort of put together this crime scene and figure out what may have happened.
I'm gonna descend from my hole and help her.
Okay, you may do so with with advantage, as you now have the eyewitness. 18. Okay, you are going to be able to confirm that they indeed came in through this window out here, it looks like. But through that investigation, you are also going to determine that it seems they, having left that same route, have had some effect on the terrain outside as you you sort of gaze through the glass onto the lawn below, and there seem to be a number of sort of strangely placed creatures wandering around in the grass, things that are not native to this region. There seems to be a massive snake curled around one of the lumber piles, a marsupial of some kind in one place. There's a very confused and very shaggy looking, maybe small bear, large dog, hard to tell, kind of sitting in one place. It's kind of howling a little bit. There are a lot of distressed and various animals down there in the fog at night, below this window.
There's some weird and distressed animals out there out there in the fog. This is not my area of expertise.
Is it weird
What did
that
you do? Look at your
nothing.
face.
I can't. It's in my face.
Okay, well that's true. Phelan will dig through and like pull out like a little hand mirror and be like, "Look, I can't even begin to think of accessorizing."
Well, I guess. I guess I'll need to. Yeah, that's really bad.
Erthel just climbs down from the rope trick and sees Armin, just says, "Hey." Still kind of keeping her eyes off of him.
Hey,
Yikes. You know,
Ooh.
I think it looks pretty good on you, actually. Your face has a nice shape with the beak, and your claw makes you look very, very intimidating, I must say.
The thing is, I only have one claw. The other is still a normal end, but I guess I can now
That's
scratch people now.
even the more intimidating.
In fact, Inel, you may now make an adjustment to your character, and as a result of this transmogrification gone awry, you will now have a 1d4 natural attack that you can make as a bonus action against, adjacent melee targets.
A bonus scratch attack. Nice.
Fun.
And with
No,
that,
you scratch.
are you guys planning on, or sorry, the lot of you rather, planning on doing anything else with your evening or returning to rest now that it seems that the location is somewhat secure?
Armin's going back to bed.
Armin's going back to bed. Anybody else?
I just want to go look at the animals just for a sec and just see if they look like normal animals or like are their eyes glowing or anything like that.
Their eyes are not glowing, but they all kind of like look up at you as you are looking down at them through the window, as if they're have all some sort of awareness or intelligence far beyond that of the common everyday, goats, cat, giant snake, that kind of thing that you're seeing.
Hey, I think those are your friends down there. Looks like you might have been the lucky one.
With my background of Department of Monsters, could I possibly roll a nature check to see if I know what kind of creature he was talking about with many eyes and?
You are certainly welcome to. Yeah.
And with my department of portals, can I try to find like a reason why they, or where they came from?
Forget that disadvantage. It's the 19.
I see that. That 19, you are not going to have really any idea. You've never heard of something like this before. The many eyes, the varying colors, the obviously capable magical abilities. This is a little bit beyond as far as your experience is concerned. And then why this happened? You have no idea.
Erithel just says, part of me really wants to believe that you're making these creatures up. Another part of me believes you because my door is completely busted and destroyed. Now I
Don't
need
forget about the beak in the town.
Now I need a new room.
And I need a roommate. Win-win?
That's pretty funny. You can come with me, but we're gonna sleep.
Sure do. I'm
Come here, you
right
little
now.
rascal. And then I just go to sleep.
Okay.
But you have to sleep on the floor.
I think I may be able to do that.
All right.
How long have we been asleep since we bed down for the night?
You had all bedded down for about 3 hours before this happened.
All right. Well, then I will go back into my meditative trance. I will let Orthel know that I don't need a bed to sleep. I can just kind of rest up against and sit down and meditate if they want to have a door that closes.
Okay.
I just need a soft pillow to rest my head on. Killing me.
All right. I think then we are going to let you all sleep it off for now, and this is a great time to transition over into a break at the 2-hour mark, which we like to do for those of you who are unfamiliar with this format. Thank you for joining us this evening, and we'll see exactly what trouble our adventuring band will get into in the following day, having now survived this most bizarre encounter that has left one of them rather physically altered. And we'll get back to more questing action as you are watching the internet's first live streamed Dungeons and Dragons based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that helps raise money for rotating community charities. There will be more adventuring when we get back from the break, so please don't go anywhere. It won't be more than 5, maybe 10 minutes as me and the rest of our adventuring band get necessary sustenance in the form of water and snacks and exercise. And thank you very much.
I want some biscuits.
And biscuits. Apparently, there will be many biscuits. And I'll just make the transition right now. Hello. If you're watching this, chances are you're not joining us live on Sundays or Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, when you could be in on the action as a Twitch viewer or a member of the public Discord, or even one of the contestants by filling out a free and anonymous online application linked below this video. All of these options are available to you. You could quest, you could advise questers, you could become a malcontent and deceive them all into their dooms and take advantage of the vacancy created. Any of these and more are all options.
You really think I'm good at survival? What I just did.
Alright, and welcome back to So You Think You Can Quest, the live streamed Dungeons & Dragons game show. I'm your host, and we are rejoining our 5 guild compatriots, the representatives at the moment for the Guild of Mazes, who find themselves in Fog Iron Landing, a small settlement and fraction of the town of Hope's Rise. They seek to, hopefully, track now and perhaps kill and return with if not more, mist trolls, and hopefully earn the trust and perhaps resources of the township here in order to finance both further adventures and troll slaying. We shall see how successful they are, though, as it seems in the middle of the night they were struck upon by a couple of rather potent magical gremlins who were bestowing shape-shifting magic on all of the random passers-by of the town, having struck many a nearby civilian with somewhere between a semi to completely permanent polymorph. But that is something the players will have to now sort out in the morning, as they have risen to the start of a new day. The farmland in the early morning is full of insects and birds who are finding their way into the fields, and having only been interrupted for about an hour over the course of the evening, and many of you bunkered down fairly early, you find yourselves getting up at 8, 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, enough that you get to kind of beat most of the crowd of the day. However, that does sort of put you into the midst of a new problem as you begin to arise as the that is loud. As the inn and common area is now filled with an assortment of various animals, some of them having been spotted the night prior, but many of them also now in addition to that. There are, it looks like a horse, there's a yak, there's some kind of load-bearing animal with stripes that you're not really familiar with, likely from somewhere in Sator. There's even a giant Aladorian cricket backed up against one of the far walls, its legs bumping into all of the chairs as it constantly tries to get comfortable in an alien body. And all of these animals are just making a raucous amount of noise as they are trying to sort of get space for each other here. And the innkeep and the staff are all sort of beyond themselves trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Having deduced that there's some sort of magical foul play afoot, they're far past the idea that, where did all of these animals come from and why are they behaving like people? And they're much more now into the full tilt panic of what do we do?
This place looks like a zoo.
Some of them look delicious.
As you say that, Fia, you can hear one of the serving staff from the floors below say, "It's fine. It's fine. Please, don't worry. We will get everything taken care of. There are no animals in the kitchen. Okay, there are some animals in the kitchen, but they're already dead. The dead animals that are in the kitchen are supposed to be there. There are not supposed to be any dead animals anywhere else. I promise we will get this sorted through. In the meantime, please, if you are something that looks delicious, would you stay away from the back door? The chefs will be arriving soon."
I'll stay away from the back door. No worries. I'll stay away from the back door.
Erithel looks over to our half-bird friend and just says, I wouldn't mind some chicken.
Me too, actually.
Take it easy, pal. That's our friend you're talking about there, okay? Look, Mr. Bar Innkeeper,
His full name, Bar Innkeeper.
Bar Innkeeper, our friend here was also turned last night. Luckily, they were able to escape the full transformation. We feel your pain. Your brothers, your sisters, turned into animals. I'm sorry.
Speaking of that, Mr. Bar Innkeeper, maybe instead of serving meats and things, so as not to alarm any of the other patron goers, you could make, I don't know, pastries or something that's not quite so, hey, this might be your
We
friend
can't
was-
make any pastries. We're out of flour because our server broke the Miller boy's arm 3 days ago.
The boy.
Hey, by the way, that happened. We were going to tell you, but then, things got a little hairy.
Or feathery.
Speaking of which, bar innkeeper, is there possibly a leader of sorts in this town? Sorry, I haven't really fully woken up yet.
I don't understand how that's relevant, but the closest thing we've got to a leader here would be likely either whoever the highest ranking guard at the watchtower is, or maybe one of the leaders at the mining operations, but none of them will tell you that the other ones are in charge. They'll all say that they are. It's kind of a mess. I mean, most of us who are living here are just the friends and family of those who are working the mines.
Very well. I'll do what I can.
Speaking of the mining leader, as Phelan will kind of reposition so that they're comfortable in their chair, we may have made a bit of a stink, drew some attention to ourselves due to us asking questions about the Mistral. Apparently, if we can bring back one dead Mistral, They will take us to the leader of the mining operation, and they may be able to get us a raiding party put together. So if we can take out at least one, separate it from the rest of the group, maybe, or however we do it, and bring it back here, we'll have some extra hands.
Well, out of the lot of us, who is the best at tracking?
I've tracked a few boar in my day.
Arathil hesitantly raises her hand and says, "Back in my day, I was part of a hunting party, and I've learned their tricks. So, yeah."
So barbarian.
Oh,
I-
that's
I-
rude.
I have three. I have three survival experiences hunting boar.
I also have 3.
Maybe, just maybe, you could lead a track. Try and track and see if we can find and single out a single mist troll, so that we can ambush it and kill it and bring it back. Of course, that would mean we'd have to try some things to see what permanently kills the thing.
I'm gonna check my books and my memory to see if I recall anything important about mist trolls or mist creature that I may know based on my background.
Go ahead and give me a nature check as you attempt to pull through your natural experiences to come up with some sort of recollection of maybe something you've read or heard or participated in. All right. With that nature check of 23. Okay. You are going to know a little something about this. As it seems that the mist trolls being an extension of the actual natural environment here, which is not too uncommon to be seen with these beasts, as they themselves are almost kind of like an ever-changing, ever-growing, almost plant culture, practically. Because of that, there are known to be throughout all of Eidolon trolls that take on the properties of volcanic regions or otherwise like quays and shoals and areas that are thick with reed and water. And so it is not unreasonable that they would likely also take on, after an extended period of time inhabiting a region like this, the qualities of the mists around them. And that leads you to kind of the next point, which is that likely things that have taken on the qualities of both like air and water tend to, as you know throughout your time in the study of vulnerabilities, usually are made vulnerable by the presence of radiant or celestial damage, as there is an effect of the sort of divine radiance that it has on that particular mutation of elemental energies that causes it to otherwise sort of be made destabilized or weakened. And you think that there is likely good evidence that to support the idea that these mist trolls can be permanently harmed and killed with radiant damage.
All right then. And as I tell that to my companions, I'm checking my spell book and say, I have nothing radiant. What about you?
That's me.
And I look to him and I just say, "Do you think holy water would also have somewhat of a same effect?"
Would I know if it will work?
Okay, holy water likely will create a okay, sorry, double checking notes here. Holy water will make the regenerative properties of the troll inert, but it will not damage it.
So holy water plus them radiant. That's the plan. Where we find more holy water?
And you said you were worthless, Armin. You said that all you were good for was a good heal, and now you're integral to this plan. Just keep that in mind.
Well,
Yep,
you-
yep, yep.
this is good information. Now, to find the trolls, I sometimes, if I really think for about 10 minutes, really hard, it just lets me talk with animals sometimes, speak with animals. And if I think even harder for 10 more minutes, I can actually see and hear through their eyes and their ears. So, if you give me some time, maybe I can find a hawk or an eagle,
Aerithel just looks
talk
at
to
you.
it, and
Aerithel,
see if it'll go find out the trolls.
I just look at you and say, "Are you sure you're all right?"
I had a
I'm
dream last night.
I'm so confused. That's like a smart plan or something.
It
Way to
came to
go.
me. It came to me last
I
night.
I'm impressed. And then Phelan will give Fia a short like clap, like
Aerithel just inspects Fia to make sure that there is no animal appendages on her.
When I saw those animals, I had a dream last night. It just, you know, I can speak with animals.
Okay.
It's part of my primal side.
All right. So, from what we have gathered so far, is that they are damaged by radiant damage, and holy water has an effect on their healing property, as well as apparently our barbarian friend here can think really hard and talk to animals.
So the thought process is we single out one, we kill it, and dump holy water on it. Maybe potentially blasting it with some form of radiant damage while we're attempting to kill it to help staunch healing properties.
And we can put a bucket on its head because we have a bunch of those.
I possibly have a
well,
way.
I mean, yes.
I possibly have a way to disorient it,
Sorry.
damage at the same time. I hold up the bag of tannerite and say, back when I was with my hunting party, we used to make this all the time to scatter other creatures or scare them out of their holes. But it is very dangerous.
I also have a few tricks up my sleeve that may be able to bring. If we can single out a troll, I might be able to bring it to an ambush point where we can get the jump on it.
What will make a troll go away? Like maybe a trap or meat or something like that?
From what we've heard is that there's
It's funny you mentioned that. We bought some salted pork.
Nice.
And buckets.
Do they eat bucket?
Well, yes,
and from what information we did get is that they're also hoarding a lot of treasure and bringing it to their leader. So there's that too.
at least one adventuring party for sure.
What about the boy with the broken arm? The
Boy.
brat.
Well,
Yes. From what me and Fia ascertained the other day, because surprisingly, it was very enlightening. He tried to steal some flour or some food from the inn, and then they broke his arm, or something happened that caused him to break his arms, and now the millers won't provide the tavern with flour. So, if we can just get his arms fixed, or we could talk to them, we might be able to earn some goodwill in town. Also, people don't seem to like newbies. Just a heads up.
So the inn owner broke a kid's arm for stealing a flower?
I don't think
Food.
that's the story. Are you still drunk?
That's what I heard, but unless somebody tells me different, I'm going to find another use for this tannerite.
I
think
stumbled
that-
over my words there, so my apologies.
So, I do feel bad for the end. I don't feel so bad for the boy. But
And I think we should keep our spells for the troll.
I agree. These damn trolls, they already killed one of our guild members. It's time for us to get back at them.
Alright, well, from what I understand is that, well, we're going to need some holy water just in case. So, during your guys' investigation, did you happen upon a church anywhere?
I didn't see a
I
church.
wasn't particularly looking for one. Although there's a fairly nice older gentleman on the outskirts of town who runs a nice little store. I don't think he would have holy water, but he had a lot of interesting things. Oh, there's also a bigger general store deeper in the mining complex that might have possibly, but I doubt it.
Alright. Well, whoever wants to join me, I'll go and possibly look for this church if you guys want to look at this boy with the broken arm. If that's
I think I'm gonna start thinking really hard and doing my ritual thinking
Are you
to-
constipated?
to yeah. I'm Fia's constipated also. That also happened last night. Fia is gonna start thinking really hard and starting her ritual to cast speak with animals so that she can find some type of hawk or eagle flying in the sky, to try to call it over.
All right.
So she's gonna go outside and like sit down and like do the ritual.
Noted. The barbarian begins their breathing exercises and necessary stretches and communions with the sky and ground to evoke the necessary shamanic energy in order to break the barrier between the spoken common language and the universal tongue of all animals that walk across and fly and swim across Eidolon. And you can now understand them clearly as they seem to whisper from the smallest spider and roar up to the largest bear. There are a couple birds in the area. There's, of course, now a lot more chatter coming from the common room of the inn that seems much more, alarmed, as now it's not merely the mooing and hissing and just general bedlam of not hundreds, but dozens of animals talking over each other. Now it sounds like so many people basically just, this is completely unacceptable. What are we supposed to do? Well, we're not getting anywhere by being so upset about it. We should all calm down. Well, that's easy for you to say. You got turned into something.
Oh, I need to
that
get
isn't
away
a
from all this
prey
noise. I need
And-
to get away from all this noise.
Certainly. Getting away from the inn manages to quiet it somewhat, and it's not hard for you to call over a bird or a small animal of the land. Are you looking for a bird specifically?
I'm looking for a bird something that can fly, something with wings. Looking for a bird.
Okay. Then your closest seems to be looks a raven, actually. Fairly intelligent animal, and it seems interested in your ability to speak to it, and it responds with a "What?"
Hello, Raven.
Hello!
I love your feathers, Raven.
Go ahead, give me a persuasion check as you open with a compliment to the bird's exterior appearance. And you have to hope that it wasn't trying to be judged on the robustness of its character.
Oh, there's my roll.
And it says, "Shallow!"
Wow. You are powerful. You are strong. You are fast. You are quick. You are sharp. I admire these things.
Well, thank you.
What? What do you want?
Okay, my bird friend, my Mr. Raven, we have an issue with the trolls around here. Have you seen these trolls?
Trolls? Many
big-
trolls?
Big guys, giant guys walking around
Big giant trolls north of the lake.
north of the lake. Now, my Raven friend, how many of them are over there? How many have you seen north of the lake?
This raven, based in its travels, is going to see. Comes and goes! Comes and goes! 3, 4, 12.
Thank you for that information, Raven. And what kind of things do they do when they're gathered and when they come and go? What kind of things do they do out there in the forest?
I like to imagine that Fia is making a very physically exaggerated scene out of this conversation, despite the fact that she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
I was just watching this and I'd be like, this is not helping our reputation.
Meanwhile, yes, the rest of the party cannot hear this bird talk, as everyone else is just having to hope that the barbarian has not completely lost it in the interim.
It's
And-
just walks back and forth at each other.
Yep.
I'm like looking at the other villagers that are walking past this and just staring at him.
They would be getting more of a crowd if it weren't for the fact that you could actively see a giant cricket through the bay windows in the inn about 30, 40 feet away. And that just, for some reason, like in a small town here in the middle of the woods, it's just more uncommon to see that than someone talking to a raven. So as much as they might be, clearly looking down on this person who is having a rough time, at least they're having a conversation with a friend. It seems like they're, he's got something going here. Now, back to the raven. Sorry, its last response to that is probably going to be along the lines of. I'm trying to think of how much this raven does or doesn't know about the situation.
Oh, bird of the roof.
Yeah, no, looking at it, it goes, trolls, eat few ravens.
I don't like that.
That's not my point. My point is, if you need help, I need things.
Things? What kind of things would Mr. Raven like?
Shiny, bright marbles, coins.
Coins, huh? You know what? I need coins too, Raven. That's so Raven of you to want coins.
Bartering?
What about food, Raven? Are you ever hungry? Do you hunger?
Many dead. Food, easy.
Well, Raven, I can get you some shiny things. What we need help with is, when is the last time you saw these trolls? Where did you see them?
North of the lake.
And when is the last time you saw them?
Shiny things.
Okay. Raven, would you come with me over here, closer to the inn?
It's gonna hop, but it will
Okay.
kind of bob along after you on the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to Inel and say, hey, I need to. Wait, are you? I guess they're inside. Raven, wait, just wait out. Will you wait out here for a second?
No, we're outside watching you do this.
Oh, we're all outside. Okay, so hey, we need something shiny. Maybe ball bearings, maybe silver, maybe copper. You got anything? Anybody ball bearings? Maybe the rogue.
I have a silver coin.
Why?
Phelan will take their hand and pick up like a rock or like a pebble or something, and we'll cast minor illusion on it to make it like really shiny.
I am a barbarian of my word, Phelan. This is my friend. I am not trying to get the upper hand on this creature.
Okay,
They're
well,
gonna
I'm sorry.
do a service for us. This is
I
valuable
apologize.
information. We would pay others for this information. Why not the Raven?
Erithel,
Well, I couldn't understand a single word you were saying. All I heard was "quah,
Oh,
quah." As far as I
right.
know, you were arguing with it.
You know what? Fair point. It wants to help us, but it needs something shiny.
Erithel is just going. Uh,
Armin produces a copper piece.
Oh, Armin, you saint. Thank you. I'll take it. Anybody else got anything for the Raven? It's a very nice Raven.
I'm gonna
It's
give
really
her.
been very, very friendly with me. It's given me a lot of information already. North of the lake, there were trolls there.
You know what? I like this one big, so I'm gonna give another copper.
Beautiful. This should do. Thank you. If I need more, I'm going to let you know, okay? Because I don't have any. But this is for the good of the party. Raven, I found you shiny.
So all you've managed to turn up is a copper piece, unless I missed something.
Two
copper pieces.
Two copper pieces.
The Raven is gonna just kick one of them over and then look at the other one and then pick it up and kind of bend it in its beak and go, "Bah!"
Okay, wait, Mr. Raven. Raven,
Erithel's
You
going to
waste my time, I waste your time. Ah!
Erithel's is going to pull out a silver coin, cast prestidigitation, and make it look more shiny than it actually is.
Raven, look at this one. Now this is something I like. I'm gonna take it and hand it over. Raven, I give you this shiny piece.
Okay. The Raven is gonna go, ah! Worth!
Raven, it's
Little
shiny.
help! Not big help! Raven help little! People
All right.
help little!
All right, Raven. Look, we'll take anything we can get. You know, how many trolls did you see over there? Next time I see you, I'll give you all the shiny I got. Right now, I have no more shiny to give you.
Yesterday! Trolls leave! Walk into lake! Walk out other side of lake! Many trolls headed into farmland! Squaw!
That was the differentiating water.
They walked into the lake, people.
Erithel then also ask it. I don't know. I can't believe I'm.
I need more silver. My friend is not gonna like another question without any more silver.
Are we being taxed by a fucking raven?
I was gonna say, ask it.
Are we sure that he's not just like trying to steal coins from us?
I trust this Raven with my life. Okay, Raven. That's very good information from Mr. Raven. Now, Raven, anything else you want to tell us? Anything else you can help us with? Do they ever venture out on their own, or they're always stuck together?
Only one! One goes by itself now. Trolls used to all the time by self. Now always with friend, always with others. Only one troll alone. The
Is that
one with many shiny objects. Chains in its pockets.
That's the one, isn't it? That's the big baddie.
Erithel nods. As she's the only one, I'm assuming is the one that saw it.
And Ms. Raven, if you can, one more question. Is that troll, the shiny one, is that one new in town, or have you seen it here before?
New here. not new to the rise.
Oh, okay. So he's been other places before.
Aerothel's going to reach into her pocket, press the mutation one more time.
It's
And-
got Skull Mountain scars. Ah.
She's gonna.
Skull Mountain Scars.
Gold-
It's got Skull Mountain Scars. I don't know what that means, Raven, but that's good information. You really do get around, don't you, Raven?
Ah.
Raven, how would you like to hang out with us a little bit more? We have a lot of stuff to do today, and it would be really good to have you with us.
You want big help? Raven need big help.
I would love to give you big help, but by big help, do you mean big shiny?
Big shinies. Or
Or
kill all of the hawks. Eating other ravens. Eating raven children's. Kill the hawks.
I'll do what I can.
5 dead hawks. Raven, big help.
This Raven wants us to commit genocide on Hawk.
All right, you know what, Raven? I think we can get you 5 hawk heads. What do you want? The head?
Yeah.
We can do that, Raven.
Ah.
As we go about our way, I'll be sure to get you some hawks, okay?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. This raven is very, very hesitant.
Come on, Fia.
Yes, Raven. Oh God damn.
5
Raven,
hawk. Raven help. No hawk. Raven no help.
Okay, Raven. Well, you know, we can't just, you know, get the hawks like this. You'd have to come along with us, and as we kill the hawks, you know, you'll get it one by one. We have work to do.
I'm trying to talk, but it's difficult.
At this point, the raven is not going to budge.
Raven, thank you.
I'm
I'll see you.
Ah!
I hope to see you again, Raven. I'm sorry we cannot give you the hawks at this very moment. And I really don't know how long it would take to find these hawks. So, but please come visit again. I really enjoyed talking with you. Like, you helped us so much. You gave us new information.
Many hawks! Many hawks at the top of the tower! Guards! Guards, feed the hawks! They do not feed the ravens!
That is terrible. That is so bad. I'm gonna shed a single tear. I'm sorry, Raven. We're gonna get you some hawks, okay? We're gonna do it. We're gonna get you hawks.
Okay, with that, the raven is going to hop up on a nearby barrel outside of a small dwelling and just kind of position itself and sit down as if to say, I'm waiting!
Oh my God. This, like, okay, this, like, I don't know. Okay, Raven. Okay, thank you, Raven. I'm gonna go talk to my friend over here. So what? I mean, we got some pretty good info from this Raven. I would love for it to come with us, but someone has to go climb up the tower.
I'm gonna pick back up the 2 copper and give the one to Hermes.
So
Yeah,
the
you were saying, oh no, please, I apologize.
no, go ahead. There's
Well,
some
no,
type
I
of.
was.
Go.
It said that the tower, from what you relayed, that the tower, the guardsmen on the tower feed the hawks. Are we sure that these hawks aren't being used by the gods people of the town?
Messenger hawks?
Okay, you're right. You know what? Let's just say that we're gonna get the hawks for the raven, and maybe just, just never talk to it again.
Can't this
I mean,
still
Just
actually,
ghosting that raven, huh?
Yeah. We have work to do, Phelan.
Doth quoth the raven. Get out of rocks!
Can I ask a technical question?
Yeah, what's up?
Could you fit 5 dead hawks in a 5-foot cube?
Yes. In a 5 by 5 by 5 cube, you could definitely fit 5 dead hawks.
I don't know.
They
why
would
I
not
could
be
ask
happy,
my
but they'd
brain
be
was
dead,
just
so
like,
that would be irrelevant to the situation.
Give me. Let's go hunt these hawks, and when we return, I will have something for our raven friend.
I don't want the raven to aid us. Can we just not do it?
Listen, and
The thing is,
Phelan will-
if we kill these people's hawks, like, they're gonna get mad at us.
can the raven still understand you?
Well, I'm speaking English now. A common. I think
Okay. I can cast some tricksy magic. I can cast some tricksy magic. Phelan turns around to see if the hawk is, or the raven is looking at us, if we're walking away or not.
Well, I mean,
And-
if you want to be walking away, that's not going to take more than maybe 30, 40 feet before the fog and the mists of Hope's Rise just sort of obscure it from sight. But if you're trying to get, far away from it, then yes, to answer that question, it is kind of tracking your movement, and you are going to have to walk a little bit of a distance.
Okay.
Bunch of
Phelan will as we walk a bit away, kind of position themselves in the center of the group with their back to this raven to the best of their ability and attempt to cast minor illusion in the palm of their hand and have an illusion of a hawk's head like manifest in their hand and be like, look, we hunted a hawk. See, I can do some tricksy stuff.
So
I told you that's not gonna work with this raven. This raven is smart.
Are you sure that the raven would eat the hawk's head?
I don't know, but I mean, if all we're getting is information, then after we get our information, then I don't really care what this raven does with these dead hawks in quotations.
We got some good information.
Careful raises her arms and be like, I don't know why I'm having this conversation right now. Are we taking a request from a raven?
Aren't we hunting trolls?
I think we're
Yeah.
hunting trolls. There's no need to now. This I may have dug us into a hole because these ravens, hopefully, don't like get mad that we ghosted them. But I think we need to go. I think we need to go right now.
How you're more terrified of ravens coming after you after we almost died to trolls. Just one day we're traveling on the road and then the sun gets blotted out and we look up.
obviously, you never played the alpha. For those of you out there who are familiar with it, all I need do is invoke the name of the animal, the raccoon, and you'll know exactly who and where and what I am referring to. But in the meantime, does that mean that the party is going to now set out in the general direction, aka north of the lake, that the
That's what I
raven had
first-
described?
Erthel wanted to check out to see if she could find a church in this small town.
Oh, please go ahead and give me an investigation as you
Can I
attempt. Please, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, so advantage.
Go ahead and also roll an investigation to see, roll to aid essentially, and see if you can give your companion advantage. Hopefully so. With a 4, that's not going to go that far. 10. That is just what you'll need in this rather simple situation. So, Erithil, go ahead and give me your advantage roll. Hopefully you get more than a...
Natural 20!
There you go. So, as I had covered in the previous session, there's a small communal shrine at the center of the town that makes up sort of the only real religious structure here. There seem to be a number of offerings to the goddess Yonqua and the goddess Idala. There's a couple offerings to Scythane and a couple offerings here and there that are just unlabeled and have no depiction of holy symbol attached, so you're not really sure who they're for. But with a natural 20 on that investigation, what you will be able to yield is that apparently there is a cleric who dwells nearby in the woods. She worships the somewhat, I'm not going to say frowned upon, but regarded with quite a bit of superstition, the goddess Thothemi. And as a result, the townsfolk have preferred that she keep her worship and her clerical practices away from the town itself if she is not immediately in the city limits for business purposes. However, with that 20 investigation, you will get the location of her small abode not too far outside of the outskirts of this settlement. Hardly more than a couple hours walk.
Aerithel just looks through the rest of the group and just says, well, we can hit up this cleric and possibly see if we can get some holy water, and maybe if she's selling other holy relics that might help us in our endeavor. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. We should go, well, right away, I guess. We don't have anything else to do.
Okay. Heading, is that the... Are you going with the rest of the group, or are you just the two of you?
I'm asking the whole
We
group
should all
if they-
just go, yeah.
Let's group up. I don't want to be shanked.
or
I kind of want to get away from this raven.
I don't want my eyes pecked out.
Okay.
Okay.
Then you will not need to make an encounter check to get to the abode of this cleric that you find to be, despite somewhat overgrown and covered in brush and leaves, the actual stone bricks themselves look like they were likely shaped by either a skilled hand or magic itself, as they are almost without sign of wear or tear and perfectly stacked atop one another in what's the word I'm looking for here? Synchronized lines, offset with the previous row, in a work that would likely take days and days and days, ignoring the fact that there doesn't seem to be any nearby source for this kind of stone, and where it may have been pulled from the ground, even transporting it here would be a labor in and of itself. And you are not able to finish your approach before the door opens, and out steps a woman. Slung across her back, you see to be a harp on a black leather strap. She is cloaked in tunic and leggings, and adorning, and her shoulders are adorned with a dark cloak, and she looks at you, eyes as if she has not slept in days or perhaps weeks, the bags under them severely deep, and her skin sagging from both the stress and also seemingly kind of the muted senses that wash over one with that kind of sleep deprivation. And she calls to you in a voice that seems to be augmented, almost carried upon the wind for the distance that it reaches you at, and she says, "What can I do for you?"
Aerithel lowers her head a little bit and just says, my apologies for interrupting your day. We were seeking your assistance. We are just traveling adventurers from the Guild of Mazes. We're looking to get rid of some trolls in the area, the mist trolls. But as far as we know, the only thing that can harm them is that of holy magic. And we were hoping to acquire some holy water to with them.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. as she begins reaching underneath a concealed part of her cloak, and you are not exactly sure what it is that she might be reaching for. I can help you for a price.
Name the price, madam, and we will see about acquiring that and paying it forward, hopefully.
What is it that you seek?
Erithel stops for a moment. She almost says the word revenge before she says, I just want to see these mist trolls gone.
I understand this. Thothemi guides all to Namara. All must visit and die eventually. I have no problem with your slaying of these trolls. I also have no problem with these trolls slaying of you. Tell me, how much gold do you have between you? If you were to turn out your pockets now, how much are you worth?
Erithel looks to everyone and just says, between us, I don't think that we have enough gold to spare for our lives. I honestly believe that there is no weight to a life. As you say, death comes to all, and everyone returns to the dirt the same. But, as you say, the gold we have is minimal. Small, even. Only able to purchase enough for betting in a tavern. We simply want... well, one might say it's greed. But we wish to extend those lives in the village, as well as our own, and hopefully keep ourselves standing to fight these trolls. And maybe in time, we will find our end much later. But the answer to your question, no. Our gold isn't large, it's not vast, but we make do.
I asked, how much gold do you have, adventurers? As she says this, the winds begin to pick up. You see the rustle of the yard in front of her home begin to develop into small whirlwinds.
Erithel looks to everyone and just says, I thought that was gonna work.
Just tell her 10, tell her something.
I pick my. I just give her everything. I put my 9 goals and give, and points to the cleric.
That's all our gold, 9.
That's all my gold. That's all I have.
Requesting so I know how much gold we all have.
Phelan will start reaching into their pouch and pulling out 3 gold pieces, but I am a member of the Department of Goddesses and Gorgons, I believe. Yes. Could I make a religion check to try and gather some more information regarding this person's religious views on the world and
Absolutely.
potentially...
Go ahead and give me a religion check to see what you can recall about the goddess Thothemi and her followers. All you know are the important cliff notes, which is that Thothemi, while a goddess of a sort of natural life, is the goddess of shepherding that life to death, and is seen as the one who is responsible for creating the natural rhythm by which all life lives and dies. While Mestu may be the one who, in her bounty and in her supervision, gives essence and the thriving, breeding, expanding qualities to the world and its wildlife, it is Thothemi that is responsible for, one by one, playing the sad and somber tones that guide life until it is still and no more, having its final meeting with her sister, Namara, the goddess of death, whom Thothemi is the only one that can see without otherwise being destroyed, and is thus the only contact for her lonely sister, the goddess who must preside over all death itself. As such, Thothemi is considered to be one of sort of this morose quality, and is often associated with death and dying things. Even if she is not outwardly hostile, she has no partiality to any particular creature or cause or life form. And so in that, her followers tend to be fairly isolated as individuals, not taking on a lot of human, relationships.
We have 25 gold.
25 gold. She says, "Wait here." And returning from her dwelling, not but a couple moments later, she will carry in her hand 3 metallic flasks, each one stoppered with what looks to be some sort of bronze cap. And this is going to be what she offers in return. These are worth more than you have, and you will return to me with more than what you have. But I will take it for now, and you will leave with these. Do you understand?
We do. And I apologize for the non-believers. I look at everybody. We're leaving.
Yes, boss?
Do like a bow, like a.
All right, deduct that 25 gold from the group, and in its place you will find now, as she makes the handoff, 2 flasks of holy water, and the third, not a flask of just holy water. This is a particular essence of our faith. It is both radiant and equally destructive. Know that while the other 2 will cause no harm to living creatures of any walk of life, but will sufficiently harm the undead and those that you seek now, this flask can harm any living creature, radiant or vile and undead. Such is Thothemi's will. She can shepherd all to Namara. She can shepherd all to death. Leave now. Return. Hopefully you will have played your part in the rhythm of the living and the dying.
So we can hope. I motion for everybody to walk away. The third vial's a flask of what? Did we catch what that was?
She did not give it a name, but it is. You could keep track of it best as Thothemi's holy water. This is a substance that is both radiant and also necrotic simultaneously.
Could you do me a favor and type that into chat?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There is no way I'm gonna be able to spell what you just said.
Also, I've been wondering, because I forgot to ask you a long time ago, but who is Balka, the god?
The goddess Balka?
Yeah.
You would be best at this point not to derail ourselves at checking out the game's wiki by going to soyouthinkyoucanquest.com and clicking on the wiki button. There are descriptions of all of the goddesses, including the pantheons they govern, their holy symbols, and sort of where they fit into all of Eidolon's mythology. Of course, I mean, we can sit around and you can make religion checks all day and I can dispense lore, but as far as just a basic descriptor of what it is that she does and represents, that you'll want to check that out.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold on to these flasks, being that none of the other people here have any understanding of religious artifact types.
Actually, I do. I'm a little good with religion.
Are you good
Okay,
at
but-
throwing things though?
Absolutely not.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's go to try and single out a troll.
Okay. Leaving this clearing and heading back towards the town, it again takes maybe an hour or two, and the path to and from is well enough worn that you don't warrant an encounter check. Where are you headed to, or what are your next actions after you have made it sufficiently back to the road and the outskirts of the Fog Iron Landing?
We need to find the leader, right? It's the only one that's, well, alone.
Well, I mean, we might be able to single out just. I mean, would you really want to pick a fight with the head of a whole bunch of trolls? Probably not.
No, but one troll is lesser than 3, 5, 6, 12.
Yeah, we didn't get an accurate number, but I mean, north is up in this general vicinity. Yeah, can you?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
probably that direction, and have the barbarian do our scouting with some guidance.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know if we should go. I don't know if we should go for the champion yet.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah, not the leader.
the leader. I feel, I think that although I do want the leader's head, I really want to see if I'm stronger. They say he's strong, but I think I'm stronger. But we can start with the little guys first.
That's right. If the leader is possibly, if he's smart enough to get a group together, he's probably smart enough to call for help. But if we can catch one of the underlings, we don't know their particular level of intelligence. They may think that they can handle this by themselves.
Now we'd have to let, from what Erthel told me in her drunken state the other night. They first encountered 4 trolls, and then 2 more came. So we would have to find a set of trolls and lure them into a certain place, maybe away from, or in a different direction from where they were, so that we can ensure that others won't come.
Can decline.
This came to me in a dream last night also.
Can decline because if we find some high place, we can just blast them one at a time.
We could set up an area. I mean, your raven friend said that they came out of the lake, we could possibly set up a small area where we can lie in wait and set up a trap, and hopefully one of them splits off, or
Raven said they travel together. So, and if they find one in a trap, the other ones are gonna get it out, call for backup. I think we have to find a way to have them follow us out of a certain area, maybe even out of the forest.
I can be incredibly annoying.
Yes, we know that, Phelan. We know that.
Well, but I mean, I can do so at a distance. Like I've shown you, I can create objects, illusions. I can also make sounds with the same spell, and not to mention I can control. I can basically telepathically lift things up to a certain amount of weight, invisibly.
Call for help in the troll voice.
Well, let's give it a shot. I don't know what the trolls sound like, but I cast minor illusion and I attempt to I will
Wait,
cast
not
minor
here,
illusion
not
and
here,
squawk,
Phelan.
and have the sound.
Not maybe we shouldn't do that here.
No,
to
I
bring him to here.
Well, I was just gonna have the squawk of a raven,
Oh.
like in your ear, so that it just so that you hear squawk. You're like, did that sound like a squawking raven, or?
But why a raven? Why a raven? You're trying to attract the ravens, you
Well,
said,
because-
or the trolls?
No, because I'm just showing you the limits of some of what I can do. Never mind, it's not important.
I'm not very smart as a barbarian, Phelan.
That's fine. All right, can you be quiet? That sounded really mean. I meant, can you move quietly? I'll track with you.
Not
But I wanna
really.
spend-
I like to stomp a lot, and I'm grunting all the time. I'm always
Yeah,
hungry.
that's-
Well, maybe I could help with that. I have these slippers that give you a bonus to stealth.
I have a +5 to stealth, so
Why don't we make our way to the edge, kind of like where we got ambushed by the trolls before, or where you got ambushed by the trolls before.
Okay, that will put you right about. Well, that is where you got ambushed by the trolls. Is right about
Right,
here,
More along the road, I would say.
like there.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go down the road? Is that what we want to do?
Yeah, I mean that's the only plan
Let's
we have.
Sure.
I say we just do it, and we just pick a plan once we get to the border there, and then see what it looks like.
Okay, moving towards the edge of the forest there is not going to be far enough to trigger an encounter check. You've used up about half of the movement necessary to do so at this point. You are going to find that the road is peaceful. There are a couple of farmers coming and going with wagons drawn by draft animals that seem to be headed towards this encampment with hay, feed of some kind in sacks. Looks like grain, perhaps, likely headed to the mill nearby in order to get processed. Other than that, you find that the environment is pretty devoid of life. You now, having reached the edge of the wood there, are of course going to be staring into the mist-filled tree line and the rising tall grasses that are almost marsh-like this near to the lake. Nearby, you can hear it also lapping as you did previously on your way here, though the waves again seem a little almost as if they should be more calm or still. They're whipped up somehow, as if in a little bit of a frenzy, yet there is not an appropriate breeze in the air to be creating this.
Miracle looks at this and just says, same as before, so that must mean trolls, from what your bird friend said, are in the
Right.
water.
Or some type of portal, yeah.
Alright.
why don't we go past this a little more to the east? What do you say, my friends? Along the road.
Go into
I'm-
hiding, see what we see
Yeah.
if them coming out of the water.
Okay.
I'm
Where do you
guessing-
want to do this? Where do you want to do this? Do you want to do it like where we are, or do you want to do it over here?
I want to avoid the southern tree line, so let's go to the
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's
right
do
there.
it. Let's do it. Let's go there.
Okay. Go
I have my axe out.
that will allow that will not quite trigger your encounter roll, but you can then hunker down in the tree line and watch as the waves continue to move back and forth in this most curious manner. Everyone's agreed on this, or is there anything else that everyone wants to do during this time? Because it looks like Fia and Arathil are certainly on board with this plan, but I don't
Yeah,
want to.
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm gonna
are we,
hide.
Inel and Armin, everyone's moving forward. Okay, and then from there, exactly what do you plan on doing? Just staking it out and seeing what happens. What's your
I
mode?
want to wait. I want to wait for trolls and ambush them, like hit them right before they can do anything.
We could potentially just have the barbarians and rogues scout for us and lead our way into the northern forest.
We can. I am actually a little stealthy. I have some stealth somehow. So we could do that.
You're
can
right, Armin.
we can go on a scouting mission, but I remember what happened to you guys last time.
Here, I have an idea. Armin is having a bit of issues with another member of our party, but they seem to be also an expert tracker. If and they also move quietly as I do. Would you rather stay here, Fia, in case our compatriots get ambushed and me and Arathil could sneak around and scout out? Or do you want to
I think it's more
join
dangerous
me?
in there, and I would rather be in there and with you guys to help defend you. I don't want you to go in there on your own.
Well, that's very sweet of you, I guess.
I look over to our wizard friend and say, "You said you have boots that help with sneaking.
Yes, I do.
Does one to be attuned to it?"
It doesn't say.
Those masterwork slippers are in fact mundane items, and so no, they require no attunement.
No, just put on there. They're really comfy. They may smell a little, but they're great.
Very well. Are you sure you want to come with us for doing a little bit of scouting?
I mean, we could just go. Everyone could go, actually. I don't know why we just don't go scout all together.
Yes, agreed.
Okay.
Okay, then let's do it.
So
Let's go
rather
on.
than continue to wait here and stake out the area, you're going to move deeper into the wood and see about finding this location where the trolls may be.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's got the lead? How are you going about this? Who's making the stealth and survival rolls?
I'm pretty stealthy. I have like a 4.
I
Plus
have-
4.
I have a 5 in stealth and 3 in survival.
I also have a 5 in stealth.
Well, then it sounds settled. So guidance will be given to the fighter for their survival, and they'll do the stealth and survival check.
Okay, fighter?
Alright, you want me to roll them both at the same time?
Yes, please.
I think you only get guidance on the first one.
Yes.
So,
And of course,
it is-
everyone's welcome to make their own checks for, just about anything, really. I'm just trying to get an idea of who's in the lead here.
Pretty bad rolls today.
All right.
Roll for
One.
stealth too.
It's a natural one.
Yeah, it is.
So
Rolls are bad.
that survival hitting 12 is going to be just what you need to be able to locate what are very large footprints in the mud of this kind of marsh-like line between the trees and the lake, where a rain might have otherwise washed away and covered the tracks of it, but with there only being the ambient fog, there are these just almost picture-perfect depressions in the muck where it looks like either a troll or an upright bear in a band was walking around. And the tracks uniformly lead in this northern direction here. You're going to get to about here when I'm going to go ahead and I'll throw a token down on the map to mark the location. Actually, I'll just draw a quick circle. Oh, that's not a circle at all. My mouse has betrayed me. But right about there, you are going to see in the forest line, moving up between the sort of drifting mist and fog at the top of the canopy of the wood and the darkened leaves, there will be a small spindling plume of smoke, likely from a fire of some kind, and definitely at the other end of wherever these footprints are generally headed.
Alright, so I guess we should continue, but stealthily. Like everyone just anchor down, stay put, walk slowly, and see if there's any trolls.
How tall are these trees?
And how far is that fire?
The fire seems to be about a half mile away. The trees vary in height. Most of them go up to about 20 to 35 feet tall, but it varies wildly. Some of them are much larger, some of them are much smaller.
All right. Yes, we should probably move slowly. If you're comfortable, if you see like a bush that you think that you can sneak, like just kind of wiggle in, just try to like get some foliage. I naturally dress for the occasion, as I am always my best dressed. Yes, yeah, Phelan will not separate, but kind of go like 5-10 feet behind a tree and hunker down and get like sneaky.
Okay.
Same, but I'm gonna put my slippers on.
Arathel is going to try and hide somewhere.
All right. Note that it sounds like your wizard companion has taken their slippers back, and so you will want to adjust your die roll accordingly. So,
Armin's gonna stay with the barbarian.
okay, Armin is staying with the barbarian.
So whatever the barbarian decides to do, Armin is going to do with the barbarian.
I was gonna probably I think that maybe we should kind of like advance, but maybe like spread out a little bit. So I guess I'm rolling a stealth check also.
Okay. You are 10, 25. When you say spread out, I'm going to need a little bit more.
So
I guess 10 feet from each other? Right?
yeah, something like that, I guess.
10 feet from each other. And then
Sideways.
it seems like Draconis, aka Phelan, and Arathil are both going to be taking the lead.
I'm good with that.
Yep.
Yeah, and then maybe me and the cleric.
I'm gonna stay in the middle just because I'm the thriller one.
Okay. But we're like spread out like that, I guess.
Got it.
But then maybe like a V formation. I don't know.
Like birds.
Like ravens.
Don't remind me of the Ravens. Don't remind DM about the Ravens.
So, with that, I'm going to transfer everyone over to a map really quick. And I will have you all meet me in the southern border of it in a clearing I've just created. Let me make sure. Oh, almost put you on the wrong map. There you go. You can. I'll center everyone's view so you can find. Yep, there we go. I'm going to start dropping some tokens down, and we can get into this. You are coming up on the source of where this plume is emerging from, and the solid land begins to take on a much more marshy quality, as even here towards the center of the forest, it looks like in this area there are quite a few ponds and small streams flowing, and the grass begins to get up almost towards your midsection, as like in the clearings between trees it is so well nourished by almost just basically a hydroponic system of growing, as they sit in these burbling streams that constantly supply them with nutrient. You are going to notice that 1, 2, 3 stumps, 4 stumps look fresh until finally, in the distance up ahead, you will notice there are in fact what look to be the makings of some sort of crude wall or fence made out of trees that have been felled and their branches snapped along the length of them and are driven into the ground like posts next to each other. I'm going to continue to drop a couple more tokens down here. Fia and Araman are in the back, about 10 feet apart. Phelan is up front with that nat 20 stealth check I see. And then we've also got... Oh, that's why. Your Inel is down here. There we go. I'm going to move the stream.
I can't see the map. I'm gonna just reload.
1 second. You can't see the map on the stream?
No, in
Looks like
Roll20,
Wilson.
it's black.
Oh,
It's like black. Yeah.
that should... Hold. Did that not center you guys?
It did, but can't grab my token.
That's strange. I just issued it straight from your character. Let me...
Did you drop it on?
Oh, I'm on the map layer. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
There we go. That explains it.
Thank you.
No problem.
I don't think they're sized appropriately though.
Yeah, they wouldn't be because of the fact that they got dropped from the map layer. They'll probably be time and a half size. But I can get that dealt with rather quickly. I can just get those snapped too. What does everybody want to do now that it seems like you're on the cusp of discovering some sort of encampment here?
Do you guys see that wall over there?
Yeah. Looks like
Kind of.
Okay. How about we wait back here and we send somebody up to maybe peek around that edge of the wall?
like a.
We can go together.
All right.
Right, be very, very quiet. We're hunting trolls.
All right. Oh, polygon reveal. Still getting used to the way that it does that. There we go. You move forward through the brush and the tall grass to find some boulders and yet more scrub emerging from the ground, but it clears the way to get a glimpse at what looks to be a massive pile of rocks that have not been stacked by accident, but rather intentionally to create some sort of barrier butted up against the side of these trees that have been turned into a similar fence. And then on the other side of them, you can start to see now what looks to be the rise of some sort of crude hide covering, clearly made out of stitched animal hide and not very gracefully. There are lumps and what look to be like obvious places where they've been thatched over by brush and leaf and kind of just dry debris. But the top of the building you see, nonetheless, as out from the center of it, it looks like there is also emerging a small plume of smoke, indicating that there might be some sort of fire burning inside. Joining us now back down here, Phelan, Erithil, you've got the lead. What do you want to do?
Erithil looks over to Phelan and just says, "Do you think you can get a peek through the wood?"
I can certainly try. Um, uh, you said there were boulders stacked. How high are they stacked?
These boulders here are stacked approximately about as high as these fence posts, so they are about between 10 to kind of 15 feet. Every once in a while, there's one at about the length of 20, but that's the rare one. The boulders are about the same. It goes to about 15, 20 feet at the tallest, 10 feet at the lowest kind of cracks between some of them.
And I'm assuming the wood isn't perfectly smushed together. There's gaps in it.
There are gaps in it. They are impressively small enough that you don't think like any amount of like small game or like not even a dog really could squeeze through without having to dig. But yeah, squirrels, rats, rodents, vermin of that kind could easily slip through the gaps.
All right.
All right. I'm going to make my way to the boulders. Just do what you need to do. Keep your distance or stay close. I'm gonna make my way there.
Okay, making your way to the boulders up ahead. Phelan, are you going to attempt to try and climb this, or
As I get closer to them, do they does it appear like it's like it's textured like I could get handholds, or does it seem like smooth?
there is quite a bit of texture. You could easily climb this. As much as it is a barrier, it is not a wall.
Yes, trying to remain as silently as possible, going slowly. Phelan will start with the one at the bottom and then try to move to the next one, keeping their back to to openings, trying to just kind of like worm their way up as slowly and cautiously as possible.
Okay. Phelan, you are going to manage to do so. And getting up towards a little bit of a place where you can actually now see, your vision is going to expand, and before you, it's going to open up quite the scene as. Let me get the. Oh, wrong tool. There we go. The camp's center is going to begin to take some life and to kind of expand the view of what's going on here. You're going to see now in the center of what are several small ponds, in which a veritable swamp, really, all of this has been situated. There are several trolls gathered in a communal feeding area over bones and viscera and organ alike, and they're just snapping off pieces from these poor creatures, and in some cases it looks humanoid. There are two that are smaller, definitely, maybe half the size of the one that is farthest from you, Phelan. And that one is sitting there and looks to be kind of bullying the other two smaller ones into getting the juiciest and most succulent pieces of whatever flesh remains here in this kind of like muddied pit that they're eating out of. The other two seem as if they are nervous, constantly eyeing this other one like it could attack them at any moment. But past that, this is sort of what you immediately get at a glance. Also gonna... There we go. Open up that side of things.
Erithil's just gonna hold up her hand a little bit and just mouth like 3, 4, how many?
Phelan will look to Erithel and go, will point up 3 fingers and go point it their eyes, kind of trying to signify I've got a visual on 3, uh, and then say stick up 2 fingers and go 2, and like put their hand down below where they're crouching, and to signify that they're small. 2 of them are smaller than the other one. Um, Now I do have another question. You said that we saw smoke. Did you say that we were seeing smoke come out of like these tents, or was it just
Yes.
from? Okay,
There is smoke coming out of this tent as well.
okay. Um, Phelan's feeling really dumb. Give me half a second.
No worries.
Gotta check spells really quick.
Can we still see Phelan from where we're at?
From where
Okay.
you're at, let me double check. You should be able to. You're not far enough away. Yeah, you can see where she's at. She's kind of a silhouette because of the fact that the fog rising off of all of these like little ponds here is especially dense, and you're going to kind of just see her cloak and outline, but you can definitely still see her.
Erthel just looks to her and just kind of points her eyes to signify, "Do you see?" And I grab my armor to say armored, and then I hold up a finger just to say 1. So basically saying, "Do you see the armored one?"
Uh, Phelan will take a hand and like slice across the throat as if like a negative.
She nods.
All right.
Phelan will point at this tent and like make finger walking motions, and will slide down the rocks here to just get into the encampment.
Okay. You got it.
Is it just there's I don't see an opening on here. Oh, I do actually. So it's just like a
Yep.
tapered down. Okay. Okay. Sneak along the outside of the rock and the tent here.
Erthel is going to gesture to everyone to get closer to this rock.
All right, Airman, let's go.
Oop. Hold on. That troll, pay no mind. I'm just making sure that I've got.
Freak out there, but like,
No,
oh
no,
crap!
no. Pay no mind to that moving troll. I'm just merely making sure that I've got an appropriate number of things.
I just whisper to the others as they get up to the rock, and I say, so far she sees 3, 2 smaller, but unfortunately we don't. She didn't see unfortunately, doesn't see the armored one."
We need the only one head. Is a small head, okay?
As long as it's a.
But that's right now. For now, there's only 3 here, but this is where they live. So there's gonna be more.
I'm gonna just see if I can get a better eye on where he's at, where she's at, so I can get more information. Erethel's going to go up towards that rock that she was at.
Okay.
See if she can get an eye on her.
Do I notice like any other trolls behind us maybe?
You'd have to go ahead and give me a perception check. Oh, that didn't scroll all the way down. There we go. 21 for Fia. 18. Fia, that might be the most important check that anyone has made all night, as with the initial critical failure of Erethil's heading into these woods on that stealth check, you did attract the attention of a tail, and as you glance behind you now, you see there are 2 trolls moving through the underbrush. One of them doing so very, very artfully, to the extent that you probably would not notice their otherwise sort of camouflaged skin color against the mist and the green of the grass. But due to the fact that the other one seems to be bumbling his way through and is sort of tripping over low-lying roots and other things of that nature, the one moment, revealing the trolls, and kind of just generally making noises to indicate that they are displeased with what they're doing right now and a little bit confused about how they're supposed to be sneaking through these woods, along the lines of as it calls out to its partner and sort of points at which tree it's supposed to be getting behind, as its companion is then pointing at kind of the nearby spruce that you're looking at right about here, only to watch its companion sort of shrug in, like, with a moment of indecision, and then look up and realize that Fia has basically spotted it doing this like little dance between, like, do I hide here or do I hide here, do I move forward, and it is now making just like kind of dumb stationary eye contact with the barbarian, waiting to see if she moves or says anything.
What's wrong, Fia?
Okay. There's 2 trolls behind us. What's the play here? I need, we,
Blast them. I don't know.
we need to either run as fast as we can or kill these 2 trolls. But we're pretty close to the other trolls, and there might be more trolls coming. But I'm not afraid because I'm strong. I'm a barbarian.
I am afraid.
But I'm afraid for you guys.
Well, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Indeed you are. I think that also now, though, as we are maybe 5-10 minutes away from our close down, is there anything that anyone wants to do before this breaks into initiative? Or is there any thoughts that we have at this moment? Because if not, I will probably begin to wind us down and also award the daily prize for this session.
Let's just go. I don't have any idea what to do.
Yeah, I just wonder, if we go into initiative, like our other 2 homies over there, are they? Well, I guess we've all been made, but Phelan's over there. Like,
Phelan is far from this.
Right.
Yeah, they might be aware of her, perhaps, but they are not. They don't know where she is right now.
The 2 of us have no idea who's scouting ahead.
I think, yeah. Luckily, I have my axe sharp, and we might have to take these 2 trolls out.
Yep, the only thing we can do is fight our way out. Hopefully kill one while we're going.
All right. Well, then I think this is an appropriate time to end it for the evening, as we are minutes away from combat, and by the time we got all of the initiative populated, it would be time to go, and I can take care of that in the downtime between now and next session, so when we rejoin our companions, they will be fresh to get into the fight, and we can do so without delay. In the meantime, thank you for watching this episode of So You Think You Can Quest, the online, live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes. If you just joined us over the course of the last 2 hours, or you're unfamiliar with this concept, this stream and all of the episodes that it puts up and all of the patron donations that it takes in over the course of its lifespan is dedicated to raising money for rotating community charities, while also providing a custom world and rich game environment for our rotating cast of expanding contestants to do battle battle with any number of terrible creatures and nefarious traps and villainous NPCs that I have designed and populated this game world with, while trying to resolve unique side quests, expand resources of their guild, level up, figure out lore of a completely brand new world at the same time, all while interacting with custom crafting systems, homemade glyph and arcane languages. Not languages, that's the plural isn't there quite yet. But all of these things to say that it is an expanded challenge for veteran role players and strategic gamers alike to combine all of their various skills to see if they can outwit and outgame me and my various monstrous armies of both creature and goddess and demon alike. In the session tonight, we did not see anyone die, though it was a near miss. Had there not been a rope trick, we would have probably watched two of our compatriots eat the dust almost immediately. So with that, I am going to, for the third time in a row, put the community out on the spot to see who believes who should win the daily prize this evening, whether or not it should be Aramin or Fia or Phelan or Inel or Erithil. Post into the Twitch chat and let me see who you think should be winning the daily prize, and of course then we'll see which one of them they pick. Oh man. It looks like we've got two for Fia so far. Looks like people are definitely supporting the fact that Fia, for realizing that the trolls were behind you after a natural 1 stealth roll. That I think Fia's gonna sweep it. So a young boy named Eric, aka Fia of the Long Roads, make sure to get me your shipping address. But first, you need to tell me, would you prefer the Firebrick dog tag or the Rhodonite axe head? Oh, Eric, you're muted.
Oh, that's great. Fire. Okay, let's say the fire brick. The
Firebrick dog tag? Okay, excellent. Well chosen.
Good choice. The brothers with dog tags.
Yeah, the brothers with dog tags. Oh, yeah.
All right, for those of you who've watched the stream, thank you very much. For those of you who are just now finding us, welcome, and please stick with us as we continue to expand and upgrade all of the audio-visual components as well as gameplay aspects of So You Think You Can Quest. If you've watched any of our episodes already on YouTube, you can tell that we're working every time to add just a little bit more to the bar of quality. We definitely experimented with a little bit more of a full intro tonight, and in the future hopefully there will be a montage of natural 20s and critical failures and oohs and ahs to kind of warm up the show for us. But for now we'll just have to rely on the sweet riffs of the band Mississippi Bones, who's let me borrow the track Dungeon Hustle in its entirety to be the official theme song and outro for this show. And without further ado, I'm going to let them do what they do best and play us out of this game. But stay tuned next time, as you will have to watch to see what befalls both our party members as well as the trolls that they have simultaneously ambushed while being ambushed. On top of that, there are many mysteries yet to be resolved. The activities of the priestesses of Yonqua, the presence of the goddess Slurgia, the mystic pulsars of solar energy that seem to contain within them some sort of beast from another dimension seeking purchase against the material realm. The mages that were responsible for both the assassinations and also the summoning of that golem. Are they related? Are they unrelated? Do they wish the party ill? Do they wish the party simply to go away? What will befall of all of these things, in addition to the presence of, there's a portal to hell up in the portal wood. There's apparently a murderer's oracle hanging out amongst some fairly shifty folk at the edge of town who's planning on goring a calf to tell the future. All of this and more You'll have to tune in to So You Think You Can Quest to find out what's going to happen. Join us this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. And here we reach the end of our tale. For now. Join us again next time on So You Think You Can Quest.
Every day I'm hustling. Just one possession, chance brings every trap that's it. Oh, dungeon masters hate when I sit down.